deserved. So keep playing this fucking game. Keep not realizing what we're in, which is in a complete cold war at this point. Okay. The policy enforcement and the centralized bankers and the politicos have declared war directly or indirectly on the men and women of this land and pretty much every land on this world. Get a fucking clue. Do you really want to be on that side? Metaphorically, metaphysically, metaversally? Do you really want to be on that side? I get why you're doing it. It has to happen. These citizen slaves and these worldly infidel scum got to be choosing their own suffering. They got to be hitting rock bottom. They got to be woken up. So it's a necessary evil. Why do you folks want to partake in it? Even if it's a necessary evil, as an individual, why do you want to partake in it? You don't have anything else you can do with your days, with your career, for your livelihood, than ride around in a costume and masquerade as some moral high ground protectors and enforcers of safety while you continue to take people's property and rights, whether it's legitimate through a contract that is illegitimate or not, right? I figure that out. Whether you think there's legitimacy or not, you don't even care. You know, I don't even know why I'm ranting and rambling, trying to touch the hearts of whoever the individual out there is listening to me right now. I mean, really, what's the point? You folks don't give a fuck. If you really cared, you wouldn't have shown up that day. Right? Whatever day this was, yesterday, even today, you wouldn't show up to that terrible fucking job that you have with that costume where you don't love yourself and don't respect yourself, don't give a fuck about this land or the future of anybody. You're just there for fucking cash. Lowly chimpanzee scum. I can't wait until they bring in the Great Reset. They're already bringing it in. They're bankrupting this nation, this non-nation, this U.S. corporation. I can't fucking wait till all you scum who did evil this whole time wake up one day and your fucking bank account, you can't access it. And your bank comes to repossess that home you don't own. I can't fucking wait for the Greater Depression 2.0. We're going to have a great equalization event where a lot of folks who've done without, right, and pursued different endeavors for what was convicted in their heart, we may not have much. You folks who think you have it all in and of the world, as it says in the scripture, the first will be last, the last will be first. You're going to lose all your nice, pretty shit. You're going to lose all your personal choice and your false power. And you're going to be right here eye to eye with myself and Brian O'Shea and others who you want to look down on. The equalization event is happening. You folks don't even see it. It's going to be fascinating. I won't have to enjoy it to know that it's necessary. Right? I might get a bit of perverse, morbid glee from watching all the slaves who thought that they were untouchable and they were going to do evil forever finally get their comeuppance. Right? I might get a little bit of a perverse glee, but then I will be quickly reminded that whatever they're experiencing, I will be experiencing also. And you know how selfish we are. We get the glee when it happens to them, but we don't really like it as much when we have to confront that the same thing they're all guilty of, we are also guilty of on some level. Right? We don't like that part. Oh, well. Your thoughts, Brian O'Shea and Mitchell, before we continue on here, carry on. I'm doing a lot of talking. What else is new, huh?
So here's the thing. When in that first clip, so first he pats me down, right? You put the phone down, put your hands behind your back. Then they're like trying to get my name, and I'm like, chill out. You guys relax. You're tweaking. You know what I mean? I'm trying to slow roll giving them my name because that was my plan. I just didn't want to go to jail that night, right?
Right. It's not about what you want and don't want. That's what we all need to understand.
Expound on that.
You don't get to choose when you go to jail or not. None of us do. You get to choose who and what you are and what you're going to be and do and say and not say. You already know the rap. Hey, expired license, no license. Give me the ID. We're charging you going to jail. They're going to do whatever they're going to do anyway. So, you know, again, it's nighttime. We're on the side of the road. It's Vegas. These people are trash, the majority of them. It's not most likely going to go the way the kid eating the mango went. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. Right? I mean, we can have faith, but ultimately the probability, especially once you've ascertained who these people are and what their energy is, they're not looking for a conversation with you. They're not even going to discuss the facts of the matter. You're going to do what the fuck they say, or they're going to charge you. Simple. And you have to make a decision, right? Guys, this is who and what I am. This is what I do. You're going to get to know me real well because you're going to be stopping me every fucking day and charging me. And I'm probably going to have to see the inside of that jail. It is what it is. If not, just get all the shit and go do what everyone else does. To presume that you're going to make it out of this, to presume that you're going to stand on rights and freedom and conviction and personal choice and not have tests and challenges or have to sacrifice in order to put on record what your heart is about, probably not going to happen. I don't know if Brian O'Shea got annoyed with me there, cutting him off, or if he just got disconnected from his internet, but we'll see. I'll throw the link again. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to be rude to him. I'm just telling him what it is that my perspective is. There's been many times where I don't even consider what I want and don't want because there's nowhere to go with this. We're here. We're doing what we do. Wherever it goes, it goes. You're not even in control of that. They're not even completely in control of that. Them cops on the side of the road, they don't get to choose ultimately where you go and what happens.
Yeah, that's a good point because the fact that, I was choosing not to go to jail yesterday, but dude, it fucking disgusts me that I didn't kind of basically do what I did the previous arrest, or I didn't get arrested this time.
Could you just give me, before we talk more about it, could you just give me how it ended? Because I asked you from the beginning, we watched the video, it was good, but we never got a conclusion on what happened. Did you get charged? Did you get arrested? What's the upshot?
I got put in cuffs, but they gave me tickets for no license, no registration, no insurance. So 3 more tickets. They just keep giving me 3 at a time out there in Vegas. And then, I didn't go to jail or get arrested.
It's just
then
so
some
ridiculous.
other cop came, right?
So you already have a court date set for all that. They're going to charge you double time and then let you go. Like they don't even have any, this just all comes down to whatever they want to do. Like, it's their discretion. I mean, they've towed my car every time, 3-4 times. They've put me in a cell every time. They literally just charge you with not having anything and go, we'll see you later. Because ultimately, it's about you at court. That's where the decision's going to be made or lost. Everything else in between is formality in games. They can't make legal determinations. All they can do is, by their training, charge you what they believe you're an infraction of, and then we're going to court, right? Or not. I mean, you could essentially, if they don't ever decide to keep you, because it's traffic infractions, most of the time I don't think they really want to keep folks for that shit. I guess they will if they really believe they have to. Again, it's just determinations, beliefs, discretions. So yeah, man, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if I'm a traveler, this starts getting racked up over and over again, and I'm not going to present at court. I just kick it on down the road, bro. I just take it to another state because odds are they know this is all formal bullshit, code policy, bureaucratic bullshit. They know there's no actual loss, injury, and harm. It's misdemeanor traffic nonsense. They ain't going to extradite you from another state, quote unquote, back to Vegas to have to hear nonsense, low-level charges that they know on some level they're in the wrong about based on the original public law. It's ridiculous. And then, everybody gets this America's Most Wanted vibe. We're a fugitive from justice. It's John. What was the guy's name? It's John Holmes. Whatever the fuck that guy's name was.
That was the porn star
who used to come on. Yeah, I know. I was purposely conflating it. Whoever that jerk off was who used to go on the TV, after dinner back in the day. There's a fugitive from justice. Right? No, you guys are depriving rights and enforcing illegitimate contracts. And I'm going to move along because I realized that this city, this town, this state is bereft of objective logic, morals, and ethics, and derelict in their duties and obligations to uphold rights. Right? So I'm out. I'm gone. Right? I don't give a fuck. And I'll tell them so. I'm not evading your nonsense version of justice. I don't want to deal with you anymore. Tired of getting stopped, tired of getting harassed and interfered with. I'm going to go to a mountain town and go to the woods where I can ride anything and everything all around and nobody's going to fucking bother me as little as possible. John Walsh, there you go.
His son,
Brian O'Shea, is on the top list of fugitives of justice. If you see Brian O'Shea at a local library or drinking his own urine, please don't hesitate to call.
Speaking of that, dude, I was outside of a Del Taco today. And the lady comes out. She's like, the owner of the building just called me and said, you got to move your car. We need this spot for
And then this is what probably O'Shea said.
Every night, I eat it with barbecue sauce. And I flew to the moon last night with a witch. And I took DMT with Easter bunnies. now, that's an example of being crazy. I mean, this is art. And I'm not saying what I do politically is art, but everything is an art form. Oh, yeah, one more. 1776. More than enough. Fucking eyes. Shit.
Oh, man.
Did you tell him that what you were doing was about 1776?
I told him about beef sausage or whatever that sausage was. Cheese sausage.
Buttered sausage.
Buttered sausage.
Yeah.
Let's talk about buttered sausage. Talk about buttered sausage, where it comes from, what it does. Why is it doing what it's doing? Get it out of my face. What about buttered sausage?
That's not your jam. It's not your thing. You don't like it?
It's not my jam. I don't buy jam. I buy honey, and I kiss it on the lips.
You know that asshole on the right that he's talking
to? Killed the officer?
Yeah. You know that asshole on the right that he's talking to, whose show that is or whatever? I don't even know his name, but I drove 4 hours to see him do comedy in Indiana before. On my birthday. I can't even remember his name. But anyways, dude, I'm at fucking Del Taco today.
I recently saw, this guy said, I recently saw where Nevada is one of the states that will extradite people even for traffic. Well, whatever then. Again, this is Sin City. Why are you there anyway? Why are you there anyway? What's really there to be offered? Right? So, of course, they're one of the few who's going to try to come get you and bring back an escaped slave. Part of their demonic horde. Right? Okay. We're gambling here. You guys go to Sin City to gamble over baseless fiat currency. This is the gambling. The gambling is, I'm leaving. Come get me. They got to pay a whole bunch of money to come get you and ride you back on a bus and let you sit there. All so you could present at court and say, I'm a man of God and I'm not listening to your code crap. Nor do I have to. This is America, slave. And of course, you don't say it like that. You say it in polite, pleasing, nice, kind, cordial, respectful terms. But that's the synopsis. That's the summation, right? So we're gambling here. Life's a gamble. You know, you got to like really believe in yourself and what you're doing. And then you got to surrender the rest and say, fuck it. It's going to be what it's going to be. Not running, not hiding. I'm moving on. You ain't shit. Am I off on something here? I know it's just too scary for the sophisticated, domesticated, well-to-do suburbanite and city slave. Just too scary to not show up to court, to administrative, illegitimized kangaroo court because someone sent you a piece of paper. You folks just don't know how to be fucking real men and women. You don't just know how to tell them indirectly to go fuck themselves. Come get me. What are you doing anyway that's so interesting and important? A lot of you folks don't work. You don't really have anything. Your family's a fucking loser failure joke. Your peer group and friend group and career group is a fucking embarrassment and a joke. What are you fucking worried about? What are you missing out on exactly? You know, maybe I'm just that like dejected or morbid at this point. I go, what is everyone worried about missing out on? Right? Like they want to do another 20, 30, 40, 50 years, just waking up every day, walking out into slavery, ignoring all the shit they don't like that they feel powerless to change, and then waiting to die at some point. Like that's it. You guys aren't willing to like kick this up a notch, like the Emerald used to say, a little bam, bam, you know, little bit of heart, little conviction, little balls, little actualization and realization, little bit of surrender and faith. You're really that fucking put off by this becoming process? You're really that afraid of what these clowns in their costumes are going to do to you? The worst case scenario they have is what the Castro's already dealing with right now, potentially, unless you do something real wild and outlandish. They're going to 180 your ass and you're going to sit somewhere and call home and go, I'm in a jail. It's not comfortable here. There's black people here and they've been here for thousands of years, seemingly, you know, in a manner of speaking. You know, they're just so used to it. Like it's another day in jail and you guys are scared to be there or go there. You got whole generations of black folks just seemingly born into these fucking jails and prisons. That's not for me. That's for them, not for me. Right. Because you're a fucking comfortable, submissive, domesticated, sophisticated, inauthentic corporate male species. That's not for you. That's for them. Right. Because they're doing all the bad stuff like selling cocaine. You know, they're not doing the treasonous, traitorous, backbiting, duplicitous selling out of their souls and the future of their children. They're doing really bad stuff like selling cocaine and marijuana. That jail's for them, not for me. Yeah, God forbid you motherfuckers stand on what's true and what's right and wind up where all the bad people are who did the really bad stuff. You know, not engage in slavery and genocide and bad faith and dishonor. No. Thoughts on any of that? Sorry, I got a little bit animated there. That was unfair. That wasn't right of me. That wasn't nice. Shouldn't have said any of that.
One of the arresting officers was, or one of the officers on the scene was an arresting officer in Chili's first arrest, right directly before the one he's on trial for right now, or whatever, the one we're broadcasting. So he's all hyped up because I'm like, because I told him,
scumbag, demented, defective fucking mental apes. That's what you guys are in the freedom movement. You're morons. Everywhere you're morons. You got owned. You got punked out like a bitch. And you don't want to acknowledge it. You don't want to admit it. That's what Satanism is.
You were saying, Ryan O'Shea?
oh, I said it.
All right. Guy shows up to Zoom cart with the name Buttfucker 3000.
We'll bring this fool in. Good morning, sir. What's your name?
Me?
Yeah, you. Yes.
Nathaniel Saxon, sir.
Your name's not Buttfucker 3000, you yo-ho.
That was
Logging
Brian
into
O'Shea's
my
account.
court with that as your screen name.
Signed in under O'Shea's name.
Why
I'll
would that?
discuss that in a little bit. What kind of idiot logs into court like that?
A funny
What's your
idiot.
name again?
An idiot with a sense
Nathaniel
of humor.
Saxon, sir, but I don't believe that I typed anything like that in.
Well, that's what it says.
Why
We'll
I
discuss
apologize.
that in a bit.
That's just not.
Yeah, you should. I'll put you
I
in
was
the waiting
no one
room.
else
Sit and
reacting at
limbo
all,
for a
dude.
while and
Look, nobody's
think
even
about what
laughing.
you call
These
yourself.
Wait,
people
go
are
back.
so twisted and indoctrinated and unhuman that they're just listening to this and not even reacting or laughing. They're so
No, go
worried about
back.
the false authority in the room.
Go back. Look at bottom left chick. I think she's the only one. She put her hand over her mouth. We got to watch that again. Start it over.
The rest of them are too dejected and disempowered to even laugh.
What kind of idiot logs into court like that?
No. Start.
What's your name again?
Nathaniel Saxon, sir, but I don't believe that I typed anything like
Start
that.
it over. Start it over.
Well, that's what it
Fuck
says.
you, Brian O'Shea.
Why?
Good morning, sir. What's your name?
Me?
Yeah, you. Yes.
Nathaniel Saxon, sir.
Your name's
Come
not
on.
Buttfucker 3000, you yo-ho. Logging
Come
into my
on.
court with that as your screen name.
Why
We'll
would that?
discuss that in a little bit.
There's literally, this is like a test
What kind
of
of
humanity,
idiot
dude.
logs into court like that?
Kind of smirk
What's
on
your
even
name
the
again?
fat fucking losers.
Nathaniel
in there,
Saxon,
dude.
sir, but I don't believe that I typed anything like that in.
Well, that's
He doesn't
what it
believe.
says.
Why?
Oh,
I
Discuss
apologize.
that in a bit.
That's just not.
Yeah, you should. I'll put you in the waiting
What are
room.
you
can sit
saying,
in
buttfucker?
limbo
That's
for
your
a
account.
while.
You let this guy use your account. I've seen you on Zoom before as buttfucker 3000. That's you.
All right, this is our new one, dude. We got Clausen, we got fucking the financial advisor guy, and then we got this one, dude. For no one on that panel to smirk or do any reaction at all, even the fat fucking losers up top, gamer looking dudes, dude. Come on, dude. That is literally a human test, bro. Like they have the
folks have taken themselves and this system and these games way too seriously. You know, like they don't take the truth or life or their choice seriously, but they take these games and other people's like opinions and beliefs and feelings so seriously. You know, God forbid we lighten up and admit that this is all a fucking sham.
Oh,
your thoughts, buttfucker 3000?
Dude, that video is one of the most revealing things ever, dude. Yeah, the way you're breaking it down is spot on, but dude, that is pure gold right there, dude. That might be the greatest thing I've ever seen. Dude, I need more of that. That is fascinating, dude. That no one's gonna smirk or react at all. No reaction, dude. Just complete deadpan, dude.
This is the living dead.
That is insanity, dude. And for the judge to have absolutely no humor and just pure ego in the whole situation, dude, and everyone goes along with it. It's the perfect representation of everything we're going through right now, dude. That video right there. You don't need anything else. That is the parable. That is the thing. That is for me, anyways. I don't need to see anything else in this life right now than what we just saw. Buttfucker 3000, dude. That's it. I don't need anything else, dude. I understand the court system now. I've just had an enlightening moment, dude. I understand it all.
Right. It's all about the feigned presentment of false authority, right? You know that guy wants to laugh on some level or just thinks the whole thing's ridiculous, but he has to maintain this veneer of like false authority and everyone's supposed to be afraid, you know? This is what you need.
The U.S. government can't go bankrupt because we can print our own money.
Right.
It obviously begs the question, why exactly are we borrowing in a currency that we print ourselves? I'm waiting for someone to stand up and say,
break her down. She's lying.
Currency in
Who
the
is
first
she?
place.
Like you said, they print the dollar. So why does the government even borrow?
Well, again, some of this stuff gets, some of the language that some of the language and concepts are just confusing. I mean, the government definitely prints money and it definitely lends that money, which is why the government definitely prints money and then it lends that money by selling bonds. Is that what they do? They sell bonds. Yeah, they sell bonds, right? Since they sell bonds and people buy the bonds and lend them the money. Yeah. So a lot of times, at least to my ear with MMT, the language and the concepts can be kind of unnecessarily confusing, but there is no question that the government prints money and then it uses that money.
That lady in my room.
So
she wasn't a prostitute.
I
Ellen,
guess I can't really talk. I don't get it. I don't know what they're talking about. Like, because it's like the government clearly prints money. It does it all the time, and it clearly borrows. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this debt and deficit conversation. So, I don't think there's anything confusing there.
No.
Yeah, I clearly fucked women. Helen, my wife. I mean, why you like? I don't see what's so confusing. Naked
I mean, rape is such a strong word, right? I mean, like, clearly we have authority. So, like, is it rape if, like, you have authority? I mean, this just gets so confusing. You get it. What? Yeah.
You're almost obligated when you do that one now to tag.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, but that's the thing is that's the comedy non-comedy, because we do the awkward silence pausing kind of stuttering thing to accentuate the nonsense. That's who that person really is. We're doing them again. Like when I go, I'm the god of all media, that's me doing them. Right? Like, you know, are you getting it? Are you getting the genius that's going on here? Right? This is constantly us emulating these people because they say we're so important, we're so valuable, we have and are so much. And then when you sit them down and ask them a simple question, they go, we don't know how any of this works. Why are you asking us this? And I go, well, that has to make me in their world god of all media. because I do know how it works and I can tell you and make it make sense and use the words and terms and etymology. So if we're playing this game where we all get to say who and what we are, despite even the facts, well, then even somewhat factually, I must be a god of all media, because that's your head of financial advising right there. That's your economic head of financial advisement for Biden administration. And according to what I understand, multiple administrations can't explain to you what bonds are, can't explain to you how the government doesn't print money, the Federal Reserve does, or won't explain it. So either completely incompetent and capable or just corrupt. And therefore, again, that just voila makes me the god of all media by proxy. Do you see how that works?
Yeah, whenever you play that clip, you're obligated to play the Talcott clip where he's like, I don't know. He tries to explain something.
I know what I'm offering. I don't know.
Right. You have to, those two are synonymous now, like flowers and bees. You can't play one without the other.
All right, let's finish Mitchell because he's still up here. We never finished his video.
I'm not saying that you ever were. However, you get out of the car with a screwdriver, refusing to talk to me now.
Screwdriver guy.
Then you go to the back, remove your license plate. So now you're still
That's suspicious.
You're building on why am I here and why are we removing license plates? Why are you not identifying yourself?
I don't have to answer those questions. That's not against the law.
I'm not asking you to answer all
You're
those
accusing me of breaking the law and you're creating controversies. So
you had an opportunity to clear the bin. No, I have not. So what we have to do is try to. No, your VIN is public.
Am I under arrest?
I'm not telling you you're under arrest. Your VIN is to be.
Oh yeah, this was the great part of it too. This guy's so deep into mind control and fascism. He thinks that like when you get a car, that you have to display that VIN and whatever else, however they manufacture it, you have to display it as it's manufactured. So now the corporations have more power than the people who are purchasing their products, according to this guy and the rest of the fascists. Makes sense. You know, corporation going to lock you down, say you're non-essential, and then Elon Musk and Amazon and the rest of them profit, 4 or 5x because they're working state and corporate powers merged, right? So no, you don't get to cover the VIN. You don't get to decide how the inside of your property or outside is contained or upkept. We're going to do mergers with corporations. We're going to get the corporations to print numbers on this property, and we're going to use those numbers and that status that you've created with the title you've signed to enforce contract. You will not cover that VIN from the inside or outside, right? And there's their world. That's in one moment you get a peek into the fascist world where corporations and manufacturers have more power and rights and ability than the men and women who buy their products and that they serve. Fascinating dynamic.
Exposed to the public. Move your phone. Is the vehicle stolen?
No.
Then what do you have a problem with me checking the VIN for to make sure?
I don't necessarily have a problem. It's just the fact that you guys think you got the right.
Yes, the VIN is to be exposed to the public.
What is that tattoo? What do all these freaks have to tattoo their skin with bizarre symbolism? What is that? Some kind of dark triad you got going on there? What is that triple triangle with the are you coloring in the rest of them? Is it just one? What are we indicating there? What kind of symbolism and fraternal order, Saturn alien worship are we kind of embodying there? Because I'm thinking dark triad, right? This is what these people are. He's got the black wedding ring as well, right? These are death worshipers, folks. But we can get away from the statute, policy, and code and the contracting. Spiritually, what this is a culture of death worshipers. It's a dark triad, right? That's why he's got a black wedding ring. Because he's married to the game. He's married to his daddy, the devil. Right? That's what this is about. Thoughts, Mitchell, on him telling you how you're going to upkeep and maintain your property and what you will display for the benefit of the public trust and its agents?
Yeah, it's interesting observations. You just pretty much described everything about him. He's showing it to you. They tell you who they are. But yeah, I don't know. I was pretty proud of myself. I thought I handled this one pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's black in the sense of, I wear a lot of black because one, it's slimming, and it's just kind of, what tends to be the fashion for where I'm shopping. It kind of just, comes together like that. But there's kind of different aspects to this colorism, if you will, where black can symbolize the sort of expansion, the expansion of the void that is what we call the universe or space, the cosmic womb. But these folks, they're not attracted to the blackness for that reason, right? For them, it's like about the death, right? It's the dark death aspect, death worshiping quality of their persona, I believe, right? It's not about like accepting the all as it is and then directing it. It's about purely worshiping the lower worldly, authoritarian, fascist nature of these corporatized beings, right? They just love it. They can't get enough. They ride around with their blue line symbols, and then they say, come and take it on the other side. Like, you guys are the ones coming to take it, right? You're being avatared by some consciousness or force that is here to kill, steal, and destroy, right? And then every one of them's got the dark triad symbols. They're all part of their like worldly, godly, false god systems, right? The worldly, false godly systems, going into their false churches with their false prophets, getting false licenses to do marriage, as if the universe doesn't make marriage through God. No, we need paperwork and legal process and rings of Saturn to complete that process, right? We need the black ring of Saturn around our finger to complete the worldly bondage, vice, marriage process, the overriding of the supernatural process of creation for the worldly process of man and who runs man in this realm, right? The God of this world. Symbolism is constantly there. They don't even know they're being avatared spiritually. They're literally being used as pawns in a game to test and challenge the rest of us, God's people, to rise to the occasion and to go on record with our faith and the truth and bear witness and testimony. That's all this seems to be, is a simulation. If they will not walk the path to self-actualization and self-discovery, which reveals to oneself the presence of God and the living word, they will be avatared and used as pawns in a worldly game to test and challenge the rest of us on who and what we are and where we stand and what the record and the word shows. Fascinating game.
That's why it's placed where it is.
I can cover it.
Just imagine how fascinating consciousness is, where this tard woke up one day and thought he was his own person and went down and scrawled some symbolism on himself that is archetypal and eternal from the beginning of time. You guys don't understand why they make movies like Avatar. The intro takes a piece from Avatar, because you guys are either working with this or that, or you've attained some space of neutrality. If you've not gone on this path in consciousness and awareness, you're most likely being avatared by the God of this world. You think you have your own personality and your own mind and your own heart and your own beingness, and you're doing what the rest of them have been doing from the beginning of time. You're a puppet. Got to cut your strings and stop lying to become a real boy. Even Pinocchio knew that.
Not cover.
Yes, I can. Is it against the law?
Mitchell, talk to my partner.
Is it against the law?
The VIN needs to be exposed.
Is this against the law?
Close. You cannot cover.
I'm on private property.
We understand that, but you have not told us anything that would allow.
I don't need to tell you anything.
Here. Okay, then we'll just sit here in silence until my supervisor arrives. If that's what you totally want. Yeah. I thought you wanted to resolve the conflict.
I do.
Then how is this resolving the conflict?
You said there's a complainant
there sure
for potential trespassing?
There sure is.
Okay.
And a suspicious vehicle.
Well, suspicious is not a crime.
I never said suspicious is a crime. I've never
okay,
said that.
So then the only thing you would potentially have is if this complainant wants to trespass me. So where's the complainant? I would like to resolve.
I've been dealing.
I would like to resolve the controversy. Who's the complainant?
Time.
Okay. Well, I'm asking you to disengage and figure out who the complainant is.
No, I'm not disengaging because I've already listed out all.
Am I under arrest?
If you want to walk away, you're more than welcome to. Well, my supervisor's en route.
I'll stay close by.
Okay. So we're just going to sit here in silence and we're not going to resolve anything? That actually sounds pretty good. You want to get full food? Yeah, we're going to. And then contact ERP, whatever business it was around here, see what they want. Hold on. Nope.
Am I under arrest?
Do not obstruct my partner from talking to the business owners.
Obstruction is a physical act.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Well, I mean, he's gonna get in his car. And
I have the right to film you in the course of your duties.
Have I ever said that?
I'm not obstructing.
have I ever?
What would I be doing to obstruct?
You want me to talk, or you just?
What would I be doing to obstruct? Answer the question or don't talk to me.
Do you want me to answer the question?
Answer the question or don't talk to me.
What was your question?
You're incompetent.
I'm incompetent. Okay. Hey, John, cut the water. You know this entire thing's being recorded by both of us, correct?
The entire thing is completely unnecessary, honestly. I don't understand what it is that you're trying to accomplish other than being difficult with us. We're just trying to have a conversation.
You won't tell me who the complainant is that says I'm
We don't need to
trespassing.
know the complainant. If the person decides that they want to be anonymous, we can't tell you.
Okay, well, suspicious isn't a crime. I'm on private property.
Like my partner said, if you want to roll away on your skates, you're more than welcome.
I'm on private property. Suspicious isn't a crime.
Here with us, or that you're under arrest. Never once has that been said to you.
You on
I already
roller skates?
clarified that. Thanks for stating the obvious.
Mitchell, are you wearing roller skates?
Yeah.
Why are you laughing at that?
You have fucking rollers, like old school 4-wheel roller skates on?
That's his move, man. That's how they can't put hands on him. He's slippery. He just skates away.
Dude, are you fucking serious?
I have a feeling this is the lady who called. She's damaged my property before.
This is the greatest day of my
I'm
life
not
if you have
blocking her
roller
way.
skates on. This is better than Buttfucker
Her
3000.
door's open. Her car's not even started. I'm just documenting it.
So once we contact the reporting party, my dispatch is doing that right now. If they said that they don't want anything else done, do you want my supervisor still or no?
No.
No? Okay. Is there anything else I can help you with? I'm like,
No, you're dismissed.
Mitchell fucking laying it down with roller skates on, dude. This is fucking awesome.
I'm sorry?
No.
No? Okay. So I'm not trying to cause you any problems. I'm not trying to be a dickhead. Here, can we rotate? I just don't want to look at the sun. I apologize. So I'm not trying to be a dickhead to you, but I don't understand what your hostility is towards us. You said they had some-
You're the one with hostility. I've been nothing but peaceful.
How have I been?
I come in peace. I'm not belligerent. I'm not combative.
How have I been hostile?
You're the one that's been hostile. You deprive me of the right to my property.
Because I've already explained everything.
Okay, well, you need to learn the law. You open yourself up. You have a fiduciary obligation that you have not upheld. You've opened yourself up to a lawsuit. I'm going to hold you accountable. That's all there is.
Okay. How are you going to hold me
All right.
accountable?
If you want to press the issue, then
What issue
then
am I-
keep pressing,
what
man.
issue
You're
am
the
I-
only one that's broken the law here today. Yes, you have.
No.
You deprive me access to my. You don't have the right to do that.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No,
When
you
I'm
don't.
in contact with you.
You know, you don't have right to demand.
He's now Mitchell, go get your bar attorney again. We're gonna have to sue them again because he's now admitting on camera that he did deprive you of a right, and he has a right to. He has more rights than you to be able to deprive you of a right because someone called him and said you're suspicious, which has like been a pattern of behavior that's gone on over and over again with these same people. So it's like he just admitted and gave you everything you need to move forward again with a lawsuit, thinking he can deprive you of your rights to investigate a call of suspicion.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Therefore, he thought all of a sudden he had more rights to my property than I did.
Well, yeah, because some woman called him and said you're suspicious. Of course, that's not gonna do well at court if you ever go there again. Because Mitchell's sued these people in the past, albeit using an attorney. But hey, however you got to get it done, you get it done to check them and remind them of what their duties and obligations are and what their line is as far as enforcing the contract, especially if the being is not contracting with them and their organizations voluntarily. So. They love giving they love with their ego and pride and bravado, just admitting on camera they don't know the law, they don't care to, they're going to do whatever they want because hey, they've been trained, and they're pretty much above the law. The legal society's above the law if you ask them. Snafu Snaps, your thoughts?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Mitch, you should definitely get a FOIA on their body cams. That way, if they said some dumb shit that you didn't catch, thinking they're sly, you should get that footage from them as soon as you can.
Yeah, I do need to figure out how to handle this situation because they're acting on behalf of that lady that damaged my property. I don't know if you caught it in that little rust-colored
it's been
Honda
ramping up
Element.
since day one, Mitch. It's almost
Yeah.
like that they've targeted you at this point. It's obvious.
Right, but you got a lawsuit on both of them. You got one for this woman, a misuse of official process and position, and you got it on them too because he just admitted that they were summoned by someone else who's obviously has malicious intent, and that they're in dishonor as well because he believes that he has a right to take your rights in order to investigate somebody's dishonorable complaint. So, I mean, you could technically sue the woman, right, for using these people to violate your rights because that's what she's intending to do, and it worked out on some level, even if it was in a minor way. That's what her intention is. She's using the policy enforcement to violate your rights, to deprive you of rights. Right. So, and then they show up and double down and agree that they're there to deprive you of your rights to investigate. So you got a case with both of them, the citizen slave and the fucking state actor.
Yeah. And the cops goofed up on her.
It's
Multiple
conspiracy
occasions.
at that point. Between the woman and them, it's conspiring to deprive you of your rights. They're both
That's a good
literally with
point.
the same intention to deprive you of rights for their own policy or procedure or wants and needs.
Good point.
Next time you're doing an audit thingy or whatever and you're on your skates, you should totally do the ballerina twirl. Like just fucking twirl on your skates, dude.
Snafu, you will not make a mockery of this court here today. You already have a butt fucker 5,000 down there, Brian O'Shea. You will not continue to make a mockery of this court.
Well, O'Shea has a case too, man. I would think after seeing that cop snag the phone out of his hand the other night.
Hey, Snafu, you kicked me out of your house. You said on Benton's today. You got to kick me out.
Oh, I said you. I was fucking joking with me for saying. Yeah, I did.
I lied on live stream.
You hurt your feelings?
Well, why'd you say? Why would you lie and say you kicked me out just for like some internet fucking juice or what?
Yeah, because I said I had to kick a bum out too. I had a place to kick you out of. That's the point.
You get to receive what you receive. I know what I'm offering. And I'm offering, well, I don't know. Thoughts, Chandler?
Yeah, what are you offering, Brian?
I don't know, man.
I'm gonna be one of those Indian give back takers. What are you gonna give me now? For being kind and letting you use my shower and my house, and
you're going to be dead in a month or two. It doesn't really matter. I want to get into
so
suing.
now you gotta give me something, dude.
I want to get in courtrooms suing.
Give me that car of yours. Sign it to me.
All right, Snafu, you're degrading the broadcast as always. You're spinning and cycling, and you're dragging us down rather quickly. Can we move on?
Yeah, let's move on. But Mitch, definitely do a twirl next time.
Right. Okay, we got cops get the silent treatment and walk away. San Joaquin Valley. More police interactions. There's no shortage of them lately with the locals, the folks from the panel, or others on the metaverse. Oh, this guy's a real man.
Okay, sir. Just make you aware I'm recording as well.
I'm really loving this imagery too, like the dark circled eyes and how every single policy enforcement now has sleeve tattoos like some thug lowlife on the streets. It's really ironic and emblematic of the times. Like they'll say, I'm a lowlife, I'm ghetto, I'm a Sovset terrorist. I don't have no ink on me. Every one of these fucking supposed professionals, well-to-do, high society folks has outlaw tattoos all over them. They're beyond the criminal class at this point. They even show it by the way that they dress and present themselves and how they mark their skin up with the symbols of the underworld. It's really funny, fascinating.
Medical's doing that too. I've noticed a lot more, like with doctors and nurses as well.
Yeah, the culture's completely degenerated, degrading, Every other lowlife has their whole fucking body tattooed and pierced. They're just going right down the drain. Just a bunch of death worshippers. Just let's scroll all over the human body, God's creation. Let's fucking alter it. Let's do cosmetic surgery on every fucking inch of it. Let's really just fucking degrade and do sorcery and mockery and humiliation. Because, you know, the subconscious aspect of it is what the individual believes is my body and my life is trash. Everyone else's life and body is trash. There's no inherent value or principle or meaning behind any of it. No, it's just a bunch of monkeys on a rock, random chancing. This is the nihilist. This is the nihilist spirit. Just these nothing but chaos it tries to make order out of and projects its dysfunction everywhere and then doesn't solve it by doing more loss, injury, and harm, right? This is the bane of the human condition and experience. More scrawled up, dark circled eyes, underworld thugs and low lives.
What channel you recorded on?
He all has his chest puffed out too.
You going to talk to us, or?
Is there a reason you're filming us when we drive past or not? I'm going to take that as a no. Have you got any idea why we might have stopped and spoken to you at all?
7-0, we're in order. Trying to engage with the chat. It's just going to be a one-way conversation. Okay.
No, you've got no idea why we stopped to speak to you? Because you were cycling along that road, wobbling all over the road with headphones on?
So, as I've already told you, we are recording. You're recording us as well. I'm 2015. It's 11:28 from Warwickshire Police, from the Roads Policing Unit. Okay. All we're here to do is come and have a chat with you. I suspect to know who you are. Okay. You're an auditor. I get it. We've just come to make sure you're all in order. You're okay. You know where you're going, and that's that. Okay. Have you got anything to say to us? Got anything you want to engage with us? No. Okay. That's fine. What channel are you recording for? Out of interest. Cool.
Mate,
Cops should all have roller skates.
I have no idea
Usually
what
on
the only thing I saw was you cycling down the road, wobbling all over the place with headphones on. You weren't looking around. So the only reason I wanted to speak to you was to say, can you have a little bit more awareness about what's going on behind you? Because we followed you all the way down that road and you didn't look behind you once and you had headphones on. And I wouldn't think that's a safe place to be when you're cycling without a helmet on around an estate that zigzags left and right. It's not going to be safe for you. It's probably going to annoy some of the road users that are following you.
This is why you guys are a bunch of bitches now. I'm calling you right out. I don't care about the contracts and I'll get to the citizen slaves like I always do later. I'm talking to them now because there's multiple dynamics going on here. You guys are a bunch of cowardly punk ass bitches. Why don't you tattoo yourselves and join the Crips and the Bloods and shoot at people and get shot at every day and really get it out the mud and go do the fucking prison time when you get caught? You guys want to get these fucking costumes so you can roll around and pretend to be fake thugs and use safety to bang on as your principles and your flag. We're banging on safety. Bunch of inauthentic corporate males and boys trying to act out like what they think men are, which are low-life street scum and gangsters, right? Not actual real honorable men either. Still more honorable than you, right? Because they have to deal with the sacrifice and the consequence. They got to wake up every day starting from zero. They got a list of enemies who will reach out and touch them at any time. You guys love putting the costumes on, tattooing your bodies, and pretending to be fake thugs using safety as your claim. You're fucking clowns. You get no respect. At least them folks get some respect. They're misguided. They're twisted. They're dysfunctional. They get some respect from me. If we're going to play the egoic, prideful game, you guys are the biggest fucking clowns walking. Timmy, your thoughts?
Greetings, folks. Nah, I haven't been listening, but just checking in. Just been traveling a bit. I'm on the homeland.
Yeah, they're the same cowardly scum who, when they get in the prison, they suck the feet of the shot caller because they know that shot caller's more of a man than them. They just play thug. They just play gangster. They just tattoo their bodies because, you know, we listen to 50 Cent growing up. We're like, get rich, die trying. We're getting a bag doing safety and policy. You guys are the biggest punk bitch coward fakes ever.
Speaking of safety, it's funny, O'Shea, you were asking me about like the check-in stuff for flying. I mean, multiple times when all the slaves were doing giving their biometrics willingly, like literally everyone except me. I'm just like, I don't consent to giving you biometrics, and they're like, okay, have a nice day.
Yeah, clowns like this go into jail and then they fucking shake in front of the gang members, the high level gang members, and they do whatever they say. They bring drugs in, they bring phones up in their ass, and then they give it to the shot caller, right? These are the fucking lily white bread cowardly clowns who want to try to pretend and act out. Then when they get around the real deal, they shake and they cower and they turn the prison over to be run by the inmates because they just inherently, psychologically know they're more of a man than them. Even if they're on the other side of the bars and they have all the false authority and power. They know inherent hierarchical power and value systems. They know if everything was reduced back down to who and what we are naturally, that you folks would have no fucking place in any community. You'd be everybody's bitch. We know that. The only reason you have any false power, status, or false authority is because you run in groups and you got a system behind you. You ain't shit as individuals. You don't stand for nothing. You don't put your ass on the line for anything. And when you're called on it, you shake and cower and run and go get your buddies. You ain't shit as men. We're now at the point in this fucked up society where criminals are respected more than the supposed law and order people and the governance.
Did you hear that, Timmy? I got put in cuffs last night.
Oh, really? What happened? What's the 10-second overview?
Got pulled over, no license, no registration, no insurance. Wouldn't ID. Like, I was gonna ID, but they wouldn't let me like take my time. So I got put in cuffs. Got some tickets for no license, no registration, no insurance.
In your small town or Vegas?
No, in Vegas. I drove to Vegas.
Ah,
yeah.
Jesus. All right. Well.
Yeah.
All right. It is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Funny Guy, he has to go to Vegas to be a comedian. Mr. Funny Guy. Mr. Wonderful.
I almost went the other way to Utah. I should have gone the other way to Utah.
Yeah, he can't just live a humble life within his means day to day, doing what he needs to do as a man and working, a living, creating a living. He's attracted like the moth to the flame, of Vegas because he's Mr. Funny Guy.
Well, the World Series.
He's Mr. Clowning around.
Oh, and the poker professional.
Clowny McClownerson.
He came up on a new thing where I get $1.50, I believe it is, per screenshot. Because like I try to charge him a certain amount. He's like, well, this other guy did 60 of them in 2 hours. So that's 30 an hour, 30 screenshots, hand histories. So yeah, the World Series of Poker is here. Yeah, I need to get the fuck out of here though. Fuck this place, dude. Poker, no poker, comedy.
No World Series of Poker. Big shot, O'Shea.
I played the main event, $10,000 buy-in 3 times.
Brian Helmuth sitting at the main table.
Can you imagine handing a cashier $10,000 just to
How about you just practicing being a good fucking man with a good work ethic? How about you get that down instead of trying to be the next Phil Hellmuth or trying to be the next fucking Dave Chappelle?
Dude, if you were my friend, you wouldn't talk to me like that.
I'm not saying you don't have it in you. I'm saying, like, did it ever occur to you to just fucking work on being a good man day in and day out and like doing what you need to do and establishing some habit for success and some peace of mind?
Look,
instead of running around chasing all these fucking non-victories.
You're very mean, dude. You're like, dude, what the fuck?
No, I'm tired of listening to these policy enforcement scum, and I'm tired of you running to Vegas in order to create validation or value for yourself. Fuck them. Move on. Like you said, go to the middle of fucking Utah. Do comedy at Yuck Yucks. Someone will be there. You'll fucking cut your teeth there. If you could do comedy in the middle of Utah, you can make it anywhere. It's the opposite of what they say. You can make it in New York. You can make it anywhere. Bullshit. Try doing comedy in the middle of fucking Montana. You can make it there. You can make it anywhere.
Also, those people are gonna be more interested in what you have to say about your rap anyway. The Vegas slaves are just like, your only lines for them are cocaine, gay shit, right? And maybe
That's all it takes. Because everyone in Vegas is doing cocaine and gay shit. It really sets them off.
Give me rights and freedom. Well, what is that? Huh? Where's my next? I'm at the airport. It's great. Every store is like Cinnabon, Wendy's. It's just like, get fatter.
How does the biometric work? They put it on your finger or something?
No, it's just a facial scan and all that shit. I just go, hi, I'm not giving you consent to buy any biometrics. I'm going to move along now. And they're just like, okay.
You walk through the...
And then they throw a sharper image in the middle of the Wendy's and the... You got Wendy's, Cinnabon, and sharper image where they sell vibrating dildos. They pretend they're back massager.
Yeah, I mean, like, Cinnabon will soon be like, hey, you got to scan your asshole before you can get a Cinnabon, and people will rather do that, you know?
Do you do the where they pat down scan, or you don't go through the machine, right? So I
choose a metal detector every time it's there. Yeah.
So if they don't have that high tech machine, then you get the back of the hands of your balls and shit.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had to do that today. And
this guy, hold on, Timmy. Some guy wants. We need. There's confusion down there. All right, we're here. We're not here to just fucking chat around about O'Shea's like bizarre exploits, debauchery. We got work to do here. This kid wants to know what a good work ethic is. You mean someone should have cash flow? I mean, potentially. Like, you know, part of being a man is you get up every fucking day and you do something toward a goal or an idea to create a life and a future for yourself. Well, that's what I mean by a good work ethic. Like showing up for yourself and others every day in some capacity, creating value and receiving value.
Dude, fuck that, dude. I'm going on that. I'm getting that fucking dude. I didn't get none of them stimuluses yet. Fuck that, dude. I'm going with that. I'm fucking
behind. So I'm just going to ask you to be a little bit more safe and careful for your own safety. Is that okay?
These guys are the worst.
Okay, we've given you some words of advice. There's not anything else we can do.
I think you need to give this man to the left of you some advice with the gray skin, dark circled eyes. It looks like he's post-mortem. I think he needs some safety advice.
Yes.
He's going to burst out of his vest.
Yeah, they're on too much of them pharmaceuticals. Too much pharmaceuticals and too much toxins, too much slavery and genocide. You know, they're going full gray skin, dark circle-eyed Cretan look. You know, that's a new fashionable look. It's all over. It's everywhere at this point. You know, it's kind of like the Smeagol creature. Starts to decay and just get gray, translucent skin, dark circled eyes, and it starts hissing, just acting like a wicked little reptilian creature. That's the par for the course now. The average like servant, the average corporate slave, that's what they look like and how they act. Just hissing reptilian cretins.
I want to do an impression of BSBT.
All right, O'Shea.
It's here.
I'm here. I'm ready for it, O'Shea. What you got? Oh, by the way, if you didn't notice, O'Shea, I'm the buttfucker 4000, so you're like the more improved model. So go ahead and do your imitation for me. Let's see it.
Okay, O'Shea. Here's what we got. I came up. O'Shea, here's what we got to do. Now, these fuckers, they fucked you over, O'Shea. Now.
Go ahead, dude. What do you got?
It's rabbit season.
Super succotash. Like you gotta like get into it.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm the less improved model, O'Shea. You're the more improved model of me.
No, you're go ahead. Just go, do it. Talk. Talk what you came up here to talk about.
Oh, I just came.
Hold on, I got to stop you because we got a slave down there. And let me make sure I look you in the eye when I tell you this. There is no learning, okay? And I'm not speaking for them because there's no us either. Like when I go to jail, there's no Timmy there. There's no Brian O'Shea. There's no broken system. It's just me and the African Americans and the other trailer trash white folks. Okay? So it doesn't matter how many times they put me in jail. There's no learning going on here. You're talking about behavior modification and training. You're talking about breaking somebody's spirit and trying to turn them away from their values and conviction and principles. There's no learning. Doesn't matter how many of us go to jail over and over again, or even if we're killed. It's not going to change the cause and effect dynamic and what needs to happen and why. Do you get that, pathetic, cowardly slave who's cuddled up to your masters and licks the hand that feeds you? Do you get that? I'm trying to help you guys out. You don't understand me and people like me and why we do what we do and what we're willing to sacrifice. At the end of the day, ultimately, what we've shown is we're willing to give the ultimate sacrifice, because anytime you do this, you're not guaranteed to make it back. That's part of the game. So there's no learning going on here. They're trying to break people's will and train us to be pure fascist, infidel nihilists, and it's not taking. It never has, and it probably never will completely. Do you get it? There's two worlds going on here, and there's at least two different kinds of people.
Paul, can we? I have a request, and I don't care if you deny it, but obviously, but like, can you do the butt fucker thing again? Because and just observe like the lack of any humor in anyone again, and that it just proves exactly what you're saying, that they're broken, their spirit is dead. I don't know.
No, I'd rather do the economic advisor if you'll settle on that.
Okay, but then you have to tag along Talcott. Like you got to somehow mesh the two to where it's like, I don't know.
Right. So like when a tard like this in my chat says how many more you have to go to jail before you learn, the learning has already been done. The awareness is already there. How many more of you slaves have to keep complying and obeying and still getting slaved before you learn that there's no way out of this without doing what I and others are doing? You're not going to get an option. You get no option. You will get fascism. You will get slavery and genocide. You will be a bitch. They will break your spirit. You will come back under God and the truth, or you will suffer and die. And you'll still come back under God and the truth in the afterlife. Fuck slave. Do you not get that?
Yeah.
This is what's running your life right now. This is your advisor, and you're going to ask me when I'm going to learn. Slave.
It obviously begs the question, why exactly are we borrowing in a currency that we print ourselves? I'm waiting for someone to stand up and say, why do we borrow our own currency in the first place?
Like you said, they print the dollar. So why does the government even borrow?
Well, again, some of this stuff gets. Some of the language that some of the language and concepts are just confusing. I mean, the government definitely prints money, and it definitely lends that money, which is why the government definitely prints money, and then it lends that money by selling bonds. Is that what they do?
Oh, come on, pause it there.
Yeah,
pause it.
They sell bonds. Yeah, they sell bonds, right? Since they sell bonds and people buy the bonds and lend them the money. Yeah, so. A lot of times, at least to my ear with MMT, the language and the concepts can be.
You telling me to pause it, O'Shea?
Yeah. How could he say? Can you go back like 20 seconds where he says, "Is that what they do?" Like, come on, man. Like,
right. And this is where then the slave in the chat thinks that his life is better off if he gets to live to 90 like this guy, have gray skin, dark circle eyes, and bullshit himself and everyone else. And just avoid the inevitable, which is death, which is pain, which is sacrifice, which is consequence, which is principles, values, and higher self. You can't escape it. I'd rather die the fuck today, if it's God's will, than live another 30 and 40 years and have to live like this swine. Do you get it? A long life isn't necessarily a good life. That's what you folks need to come to understand. Bunch of cowards, clingers.
Money, and then it lends that money by selling bonds. Is that what they do?
Right there. You just keep going over that. What is that?
It's called I'm a fucking lying coward, and I'm going to say whatever I have to say to continue on this wretched life and horrible career of mine. I'm an empty fucking suit and a broken-hearted soul. I'm lost. I'm confused. Or I'm duping in delight because I have the answers I'm not going to give the rest of the duped out, gullible public. It's too easy for me to profiteer and gain the world while losing my soul. That's what it's called. One or the other. Pick one.
Right. It's like, is that what they do? Like, is that the story we're telling them? What
He
is
doesn't know. He's another drug-addled sex freak who has no purpose and meaning and value in this realm, probably fucking a child. Who cares how it works? We're all making money. We're all printing up money. We're all doing war for profit. We're all death worshiping and serving the devil. Who really gives a fuck, huh? That's the attitude. Or, of course we know we're slaving everyone, dummy. You think we're going to tell you that here? You folks should have figured it out already. If not, I'm going to laugh in your face and go, who cares? Because the answer to the question is we're fucking you and fucking ourselves ultimately. Because it's just too damn seductive and sweet to let it go. Can't let go. They're deep in their bondage and vice. They're deep in their nihilism. There's no other God. There's no other truth. There's no other purpose here other than what I and the rest of the Cretans want and what we're going to get. It's it. Just like 3/4 of the auditors, just like 3/4 of the demosocracy and citizen slaves, they don't really give a fuck to know and to care to do something different. It's about what am I and me, and my little family and friends going to get if we cry and whine or if we bullshit ourselves and each other enough. What are we going to get?
Yeah, they should just change his name from Jared Bernstein to Buttfucker 3000. Like, seriously, dude, any one of these people in these things who acts like this, like that judge, they're all
I think
Buttfucker plus a
Jared
number.
Bernstein is very appropriate because these folks are the synagogue of Shaitan. And no, I'm not doing ethnocentrism. I'm just saying you tend to see some themes here. 3/4 of all the court cases I've ever dealt with were someone that's a Jared Bernstein. They have all the symbols. Again, this is not necessarily about an ethnicity. This is just about how many coincidences, how much smoke till there's fire. Seems all these folks look alike and have the same look about them in the same way and the same names, the same nomenclature. The same folks who seemingly have been doing merchant banking from the beginning of time and enslaving everyone else and laughing and giggling the whole way while a Christed consciousness cries out for us to do and be and have better. It goes unheard. It goes crucified. It goes persecuted and prosecuted. It goes forsaken by the masses. They love it. They're Stockholm syndromed out. They love their fucking pimp daddies and their masters. They can't get enough of it. That's what they think their lot in life is. A bunch of broken hoes following a bunch of broken male spiritual misleaders. Beyond embarrassing and pathetic.
They sell bonds, right? Since they sell bonds and people buy the bonds and lend them the money. Yeah. So a lot of times, at least to my ear with MMT, the language and the concepts can be kind of unnecessarily confusing, but there is no question that the government prints money and then it uses that money to so
I know, Cheif, if she's part of the channel, you get this goofy looking bitch out of here with the 10 pounds of clown makeup. Get her goofy ass out of my chat if she's even daring to put her rolling eyes face up in the chat because she needs daddy's attention. She's rolling her eyes because she's a Jezebel harlot of Babylon, and this is the kind of man that her daddy most likely was, and this is the kind of man that she mates with and dates. So if she is rolling her eyes at me but can't be woman enough to talk to me directly, you can throw her bitch ass the fuck out.
Well, before you throw her out, that's Artie's producer. Artie's corporate fiction. That's his producer.
I don't give a fuck about Artie's corporate fiction. And if that's his producer, then it makes all the sense in the world why she would be rolling her eyes. Because they're two inauthentic corporate male, beta male couple. They're perfect for each other. So it would make sense that they'd be rolling their eyes at a man who's being honorable and presentable, righteous and principled with true values, who's able to speak. Because Artie can't put two fucking sentences together, and he damn sure can't speak with any kind of passion, and he damn sure can't tell the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth, because he's another inauthentic corporate beta male with no care, no heart, no balls, and no passion and no energy.
That's
Just
also
another
100%.
NPC
Yeah.
slave. So it makes sense that an inauthentic corporate female with 10 pounds of makeup and a broken look in her eye would come forward and roll her eyes at a real fucking man. These are all perfect for each other.
She's not in that community anymore.
We'll see. If I jump the gun, then I jump the gun and I'll be accountable. I jumped out the window. Again, I tend to know them by their fruits and I tend to know them by their presentment. And every time I see a woman who looks like that and rolls her eyes, she's usually got daddy issues and issues with self. That's why they find themselves even working with, for 3 seconds, a cretin like Artie, because they have little to no discernment, little to no emotional intelligence, let alone any IQ, and they're not able to discern who's who and what's what and how to live properly. So chances are she is a broken hoe. Whether she's insulting me or not, she's here under my tutelage at this point because she desperately needs who and what I am and what I have. Now, maybe that's a bit of an arrogant projection. We'll come to find out long term. Everybody gets what the fuck they need one way or the other, whether they get it from me, with me, or not. That's how this simulation works. We're all players on the world stage. Get a clue.
Oh,
drop Paul's.
Yeah, I guess I'm just. I can't really talk. I don't get it. I don't know what they're talking about. Like, because it's like the government clearly prints money. It does it all the time, and it clearly borrows. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this debt and deficit conversation. So, I don't think there's anything confusing there.
Altruism is not selfless completely because by helping others, you help yourself, whether it's directly or indirectly. There is no merit to judging the virtue of someone based on how selfless or selfish they are. It really doesn't make a difference. If the being is doing what's true and what's right, regardless of what the compulsion or the impulse is, they're still doing what's true and what's right and what others aren't. So oftentimes I will say, in order to be selfless at some point, you got to get selfish. That means caring so much about yourself and your life and your power to choose that you're not willing to put any person, place, or thing or idea above that. That's how you get truly selfless. The Christed being had to become selfish before he became selfless, because I'm sure that being sat there and said, I'm no longer accepting this crap for myself or anyone or anything that extends off of me, nor should I. You ask people who are a bunch of follower sheep slaves, they'll tell you you're a narcissistic egotist. And you're very selfish. No, I'm going to prioritize myself and my moral compass and my future and my destiny and everything that extends off me before any other person, place, or thing in this realm. Put no faith in earthly man and woman for whom there is no salvation. Your fucking scripture says it right there. The truly most selfish being is a being connected to the higher self. They're all about that higher self and that higher truth. They wouldn't put any person, place, or thing or ideology in front of or in between that. Get behind me, Shaitan, and all you little devil deceivers who want to disempower and disregard.
Yeah, and just so you know, I put a video in the backstage if you feel like playing that one. If not, maybe we can play it a different day. But just if you want to go along with the whole tats thing you were talking about earlier.
Doesn't it violate YouTube terms to have a group of idiots like this together on a pan? Why, is there any more of a violation of YouTube terms to have a panel full of idiots rather than a chat box full of morons and slaves? What exactly would be the difference?
I think they meant to say panel. I think they forgot.
Yeah, I know what they're saying.
Yeah.
It's rather appropriate because while he says pan, short for panel, he's in a metaphorical pan, just like the frog in the water. And he's boiling rather slowly, rather quickly, and he's unaware of it. Right? Another low-level conscious awareness cretin. You're in the pan with the rest of your citizen slavery, boiling. And you're just comfortable in your suffering. Completely blissfully unaware. Broken system, broken trust. Drop the link, the StreamYard link in your chat so that woman could come up.
Okay, yeah, and if anybody's watching on my channel, who knows, I probably got 2-3 folks maybe peeping in. If they want to come over here, I'll go do that real quick. I'll be back. I'm going to drop a link in my channel.
Let's go to, all right, dude, listen, it doesn't require that much, just do what you got to do.
You know, we don't need 10,000 explanations and positionings and stratagems. Let's just keep it rolling. Let's keep it moving here. Folks want to come up, they come up. If they want to run their mouth, throw them the fuck out. I don't want to look at it. It's not that I can't look at it and control myself and move forward and even ignore it if necessary. Why should I? I don't need folks here who don't want to do fellowship. If folks here want to do fellowship and they want to learn and get better and be better and have better, it doesn't require their response anyway. Forgive me for sounding arrogant. You want to come here and act like a fucking slave, not make any sense, not come up here and talk to me directly. What do I need you down there for? You're an impediment. You're here to get an understanding you need to become a better man or woman. You don't want that? Well, then go somewhere else. If you do want that, but you can't control your fucking little Twitter fingers, I'm going to do it for you. Doesn't require your nonsensical responses and commentary. The truth cannot be invalidated by the ignorant, nor can it be validated. You folks can't even see, let alone validate or invalidate. So, you know, this isn't a false democracy here. Right? I will have the way of I am that am in the truth. You will not get to do whatever you please here. You won't do what's true and what's right in your life. What makes you think that you're going to do whatever you want here? Don't need it. Go fuck someone else's day up. Go fuck up someone else's endeavor. Go fuck up your own life more like you probably already have. Voting and paying taxes and submitting to slavery and genocide. This is what you folks need to get. I don't care if you want to call it pride and ego. That's the way I and the God of creation views the majority of you. I can't see it any other way. So you're not entitled to X amount of respect. You're not entitled to X amount of time, energy, and attention. You folks have already gotten too much and done too little with it. As far as I and the God of creation are concerned, as much as I can tell. Maybe I'm projecting my own ego onto that force. This is just pure awareness and consciousness of cause and effect and the dynamics and what needs to happen versus what is happening. There really is no emotion projected onto the situation. It's nothing but systems dynamics. So the respect, the sentiment of respect comes with when you do what the fuck you need to do that's true and what's right. If you won't, you don't get that. Matter of fact, you get disrespected. You get disregarded. The same way you want to try to falsely disrespect me in this truth and this way, and the same way you want to falsely disregard it for your own feelings and your own ego and pride. Not going to work here. You're going to get right or you're going to be made right. If not by the facilitation of me and what I do here, by the God of creation and the dynamics of cause and effect. Fucking bet on it. This has all been done before, and it's all going to be done over and over again. That's what this arena of life is about. Arrogant defendant shut down by Judge Simpson. Let's get to the Zoom court situation, and we're going to wrap up shortly.
Court calls the case. People versus Chloe Whitsett.
Edward Drukas on behalf of Chloe Whitsett, who is approaching, Your Honor.
We got Miss Mandy Reacts up here. How are you, ma'am?
Doing today.
All right. So did I jump the gun a little bit? Did I make some presumptions and assumptions that are not quite true, or what was going on there?
A little bit, yeah. I do not work for Artie's Corporate Fiction. I have it for a couple of months. He fired me.
Fired you. Now, what was the reason exactly? If you could give us some background on that interaction.
I can. I'm sure the community is going to go freaking crazy over this, but I really kind of don't care. I'm being bullied by a couple channels, Irish Demon and
Get close to that microphone because I'm turning your volume all the way up, but it doesn't seem to be.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, let me adjust my audio. Sorry.
Is she low for you guys?
Yeah.
No, it was a little low, but it's fine now.
Is that better?
Turn your volume status bar up too. I keep turning it up and it's defaulting back to the mid range. I don't know what's up with StreamYard. They're constantly fucking me.
Okay, is that better?
But yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm being bullied by a couple of channels, Irish Demon and Shiz. I don't know what her channel name is today. She changes it every day. Shiz Happens, I think it's
that one's Shiz Happens. And
all right, please. It doesn't matter. Can we just get down to the interaction between you and Artie and why he quote unquote fired you?
Yes, he fired me because he was being pressured by these channels and he gave in to the bullying. So he fired
right, but you understand that like there's the issue that I'm going to speak on mainly is even this characterization of bullying. No one can bully you online unless you let them, unless you give them power over you.
No,
right?
I
Nobody
agree
can
with that,
physically do anything to you. So, like, this is where then I encourage you and other women to just get more discernment and start to practice like more discernment in the sense of evaluating somebody's character and their presentment. Because I could have told you, and I'm not saying what you're saying is absolutely true. I'd have to get Artie's side of the story for equity purposes, just to kind of know what both sides are. But again, I have my own experiences with Artie and people like that, in quotes, that kind of personality, character, or lack thereof. He's soft, he's weak, he's cowardly, he's easily manipulated. He's
And I
a
have been
group
on
think type
many.
person.
I've been the producer on many streams where you two have gone at each other.
Right. Again, and this is the bottom line is what Artie and others don't understand in their pride and ego is that the universe is always working on everybody. So it's going to turn people away from folks like him toward folks like me. Whether you like him better than me or not, it's about respect and truth and honor. He's not a respectable man. He's not a truthful man. And he's not an honorable man. He's a punk coward. He's an inauthentic corporate male. And without YouTube, he wouldn't have a place in any community because he has little to no power, value, worth, and conversation.
Well, he's a lawyer. He's actually. A
I'm
legal
not
guy.
interested in his. Please get close and turn up your mic on your end. I can't turn it up, and it's frustrating me. It's not your fault. He's a legal representative of the legal society. He's far from a lawyer. He doesn't understand law. He cannot communicate the law authentically from his heart and from God. He is a representative of an incompetent, incapable legal system and society. Right. And I know that maybe you don't understand the difference or even care to, but I'm making the distinction. He's far from a man of law and he's far from a presentable man of honor. He's a empty suit corporate clown.
I've known him for years, and he actually is a really good man. But
I have no reason to believe your assessment of that because I know of him and what he does and what he stands for, and he is the personification of evil and deviance.
Evil. He is
Absolutely. He's an inauthentic corporate male who's motivated by money and power and status. He doesn't care one bit about objective morality, logic, and ethics. We've proven that over and over again. That's what makes a man or woman good or not. Care what their intention is. I don't care how much emotion they have or how much they show love and care. There's no true love and care in these beings.
now
If
listen,
there was,
this
they
is
wouldn't be
coming from
doing what
someone
they're
who
doing.
Fired, okay, this is coming from someone he literally fired. So, but it's neither here
Right,
nor
but that doesn't mean anything to me because ultimately I find with most people, they're not a good judge of character and they're not a good judge of objective right from wrong and goodness versus evil and true versus false. The last 4 years has taught us that the majority of our friends and families and even ourselves are not true and correct. We're deceived and misled. That's obvious.
That's true. Can I ask you?
So don't take it personal. I'm just saying that that's the struggle we have in this life and in this incarnation is the walk toward more consciousness and awareness of what's been here that we've missed.
Okay, I get that. Can I ask you a question, Paul?
Absolutely.
I really honor the fact that you're a Christian and you're very outspoken about that. So am I.
I don't, just be clear. I appreciate that you consider me that for your own reasons. And that may be true based on what you understand a Christian to be, but I don't call myself a Christian.
Okay.
Right? I may correlate my experience with biblical scripture along with other ancient texts.
Okay.
And I may see the way to the way in the story of Christ and how that applies to all of us with the Holy Spirit. You know, it's more of a conscious awareness thing for me. I'm not a follower or a devotee of a specific religion. It's more of this servant of truth idea that manifests as the Christed being, right? As I see it. But I could see why you would call me a Christian, right? There are probably many Christians in this audience who would refer to me as a Christian, even if I wouldn't, because of some of the ways that I perceive that this is working and what we're here to do, right? There's some overlay in that experience.
But do you realize when you talk about the Holy Spirit and about being the way and the truth, and then you cuss people out and you talk people about being whores and stuff, that totally just backtracks your word and your message?
I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, there is a piece of critique there as far as there's a way that I could do it. I could be more nice, kind, polite, measured, controlled, tempered. I choose to kind of let the dog off the leash at times because I'm looking to trigger. I'm looking to push buttons. I'm almost looking to offend because the reality of it is when we observe ourselves and each other, everything I say is true. You may not like the way I'm saying it. There may be more of a savory way to put it forth. It doesn't change the truth and the facts of the matter. When I say that the majority of folks born into this world are broken hoes and cowards, it's only because I've recognized that in myself at some point and changed it that I can recognize it in the majority of others.
Well,
I don't
that's
see any
true, though.
separation.
We're born into sin, so you're right about that.
Right. And we're pimping for the devil. We're hoeing for the devil. So when I use the kind of ghetto triggering, low level, compelling language, it's a bit of effect. It's a bit for a performance. And it's a bit of just unfiltered, uncensored, raw trigonometry. Right. It doesn't change the fact that there's some truth to it. The whole world is pimping and hoeing. Most folks just don't know it. They're serving someone or something. That thing's serving someone or something. And it's for a certain intention and motive that is not pure and true and correct. And the results speak to disempowerment and slavery and vice and bondage. I can't call it any other way and do it and not be sort of boring, right? That's my way of sort of being a bit entertaining, being a bit triggering, right? And just calling it as it is. And also, it's a bit of part of the way I grew up and who I grew up around. It's a cultural appropriation in the sense of that's the way me and the black folks used to sit around and talk. That's the way that we talk, right? I'm not going to put on an act here. I'm not going to pretend to be some professional or sophisticated, domesticated, well-to-do man. I'm not that, right? I'm sort of a rough and tumble, salt of the earth, streetwise spiritual being who has done wrong and evil in my life. And I've turned away from that to attempt to do and be and have better. And I found a connection with a conscience that you could call a Holy Spirit that seems to be connected to something beyond my ego and worldly sense of self.
And
So that's
great.
all this
I'm
is.
happy for you for that. That's fantastic. More people need to find that.
Well, I argue that that's all we're doing here. We're all literally the same self on the highest level, and on the lowest level, the only disconnect is our perception and understanding. Once we have enough experience and the perception changes and we gather more understanding, we all become aware of the revelation of the one truth, the one life, the one way. It would seem if you're living life with any kind of observance of self and reverse engineering of what you've done and what it's created, reflection, I guess you could say. That's the key, right? Most folks are not self-aware and they're not reflective beings. They just kind of go through life doing the same shit over and over, expecting different results.
Well, you said that's what we're all here to do, but some of us, some content creators are really out to hurt other folks. Miss Mandy lost her job thanks to that Irish demon guy and Shiz. So
I'm
I
not
don't know.
interested in that. You're victiming. This is the reality of it. You guys don't have faith. If you really had faith in
this community for years.
If you really had faith in a higher being and purpose, you wouldn't be living in lack and loss. You'd be thanking the God of creation and the universe. You'd be thanking the God of creation and the universe for forcing you to depart from a scum I would have told you never to be around from the beginning. So keep playing the victim and keep living in loss and lack and non-abundance because you don't understand the higher purpose and calling here. You're not meant to work with Artie's corporate fiction.
I know
for obvious reasons.
I know that. Calm down. I know that now. But you're talking about you told me to never work with from the beginning. I've never talked to you.
I'm not saying I didn't say that. I said I would have told you never to deal with him from the beginning. And obviously you lack discernment. So the universe once again had to act through Artie and put you where the fuck you need to be. Because you wouldn't do it for yourself.
No, I agree with that. I do.
So don't come here talking about you have faith in God and Jesus, but telling me you're being bullied and upset because you got fired by a cretin you never should have been around to begin with because he's a fucking infidel.
You're looking for some kind of error to attack me. So
I'm not looking to attack you. I'm reminding you that you have a vision and a purpose and value and meaning and discernment. Use it.
Fair.
I'm not attacking you. I'm reminding you of what you are neglecting. that if you stop neglecting it, you'd be where you're meant to be with who you're meant to be with, doing what you're meant to do, and you'd have blessings and grace and mercy and all the rest of the creational gifts, you could say.
That's fair.
I'm not attacking you. I'm seeing you as me, and I'm telling you, just as I would have told myself at one point, you have value, you have meaning, you have purpose, you have discernment. Come out of her, my people. Get away from the infidels. Stop equally yoking yourself with people who don't have what you have or have it and won't use it. That puts you in judgment and error.
You're
That's all I'm
absolutely
saying.
right about that, actually. You're absolutely right. I'm sorry.
You're better than that. Don't be sorry. That's no way to go through life either. You didn't do nothing to me. We're just getting it right here. We're finding a base. We're finding a center. So if anything, I'm speaking life into you. I'm reminding you that you have fucking value and worth. Stop accepting less for yourself, working with men and women who don't care, who are brokenhearted.
I have another producer job and I'm kicking ass and taking names.
That's it. You lose one and you get two. That's how this game works. Unless you focus on what you lost, then you block your blessings.
Okay. Well,
So you had to give one thing up to get two things. That's a great place to be. Got to give everything up to be given everything back.
All right. Well, have a good one.
I appreciate you coming up, Mandy. I just want to be clear. I don't have any need to attack you. I have no hate for you. If anything, I have care for you. Sometimes it comes off and maybe they're not the most functional way because I get a bit frustrated, but it's a lot like a father would be, right? It's not always the nicest, kindest, and politest, but I'm trying to speak life and value and worth into you. And I get frustrated oftentimes when what feels like children want to resist and want to prove that they're not loved and that they're not good enough by accepting less for themselves. That's kind of the sub-psychology I get from a lot of folks, right? They're going to prove to me that I don't control them by saying I'm attacking them, by trying to remind them in a frustrated way, you are that am. And you have the discernment and value and worth, and you have no business running around town or co-creating with folks who ain't living that and being that. It just demeans you. So please understand that that's my sentiment, right?
Okay.
I'm not trying to upset you or insult you or demean you or anything like that. I'm just pointing at a certain harsh truth that we keep overlooking or neglecting or falling away from at times.
No, Paul, thank you for clarifying that. I really do appreciate it. Your channel's doing great. Keep on.
Oh, I appreciate you, Mandy. I appreciate you being open and coming up here and putting up with my obnoxious abrasiveness at times. Right? I mean well. I don't always do the best job at communicating the message, but I do mean well. I want to believe that.
All right. Have a good one, guys. Bye.
And there
All
was
right,
no
Mandy.
contention with me either. There was absolutely no contention whatsoever.
I don't have any problem with you, Josh.
Oh, okay.
All right. Bye, guys.
All right, we'll see you later, Mandy. Come back. Hey, you know, you got to take the quote unquote good with the bad.
Well, one at a time, and then it'll have a ripple effect.
Yeah, I'm just tired of like seeing, again, this is where a bit of ego comes in and it starts to borderline Messiah complex. I feel like my children / my people / my countrymen and women / myself, my fellow humans, right? I'm like, what are we not getting here? Why are you doing this? Why are we doing this? Is there a better way? Can we work together? Do we have to keep going to these people and these institutions and these affairs? Right? That's where the frustration comes from, because I'm like, there's so much of a better way and so many more opportunities and options. Are you not aware of that? Have I not shown you and made you aware of that through me and with me here? I thought that's what we're doing here. You don't have to sell yourself short anymore. You don't have to work with cretins who you don't respect. You have plenty of opportunity to do and be and have and create and not have to accept less and yoke yourself with scum. It's not that these folks are irredeemable. It's that's where they are right now and they choose to stay there. It's obvious in their arrogance and ignorance. They need to suffer more. So you can love them from a distance and you can wait for their return back to the truth and source of creation. Until then, probably, as the Tao Te Ching would say, not advisable to work with men and women who don't truly care. just going to get you in situations and circumstances you're not going to like, nor are you meant to like it. It's there to prove something to you and show something to you about who and what you need to be and not. That's the game. So there really is no judgment and condemnation. I have love and care for Artie. I want to see him be his own and my best ally, and an ally for all our countrymen and women, and uphold the law of this land. He's not going to do it. Not now. He may never do it. I'm open to that. I'll reconcile. He can reconcile. There's redeemability for everybody here. If there wasn't, I wouldn't be here talking to you. So I always see a way back. Like the Tao says, I always contemplate the returns of the beings. I don't get caught up on their misgivings and misdeeds. I contemplate their return as much as possible. But until then, I trade on what I have and what is, not on the potential of what could be. It just seems to me to be common sense and good practice. Doesn't require hate and judgment and condemnation, but hey, it is what it is. I've been a lowlife and a scumbag before I've attempted goodness or greatness, however you want to perceive that. So I know it when I see it, because I am that. We have all the good and evil and everything in between in us, and then we choose to direct that light and dark aspects toward a result with an understanding of self and the creation. So, without the understanding, without the reconciliation, without the redeeming, without the truth and the faith, you will continue to be divided. You will continue to choose your own suffering, and it will spill over onto other beings in your life. That's the nature of consciousness and awareness and co-creation. There really is no other way to see it. Your thoughts before we move on here? Backpedaling, Paul. I'm not backpedaling. I'm showing different aspects of myself, and that I'm in control of the way that I present and what I speak on. And I'm able to bring it back home and make an inclusive statement about how this information applies to all of us, rather than doing the us versus them dynamic, which doesn't get us anywhere. Right? So I can observe and report and speak on what I see or what I presume and assume or what my intuition reads. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm completely right. I almost have to do that to get to the truth and what's right. Because again, most folks who you interact with, they're never going to tell you the honest truth, even if they're aware of it. Most people are not aware of who and what they are and what they're doing and why. You ask them, you say, who are you? What do you want? Why? They don't know. They have no clear-cut answer or no basis or foundation with true principles and values. So with most folks I find, you ask them directly and you try to get answers, you're wasting your time. You got to trigger them a little bit, and you got to make some presumption and assumption to get who and what they are up out of them, just like the courts do. What do you think? I didn't learn this from them? They know how to get the truth up out of you. They make presumption, assumption, tacit agreement, and hearsay, and you jump out of your skin and start yapping. And the more you jump out of your skin and start yapping, then they find out one way or the other. Were they presuming and assuming rightly or wrongly? That's how the game works. So again, there's no backpedaling. I'm going to call something out. I'm going to jump out the window. Folks are going to get reactive, or they're going to respond and account. In which case, at that point, we got the facts on the record. I don't need to be hateful. I don't need to be antagonistic. I don't need to be controversial and chaotic. I already did that. So we could get to the real conversation. So we could find out who and what this being is and what we're doing here.
Well, and hey, real quick to that comment that's up on the screen. That's also somebody that's a fan of that shiz lady or whatever.
I'm not interested, bro. Stop giving me all the fucking... Stop giving me all the lore. I'm not going to make these people any more non-famous than they already wish to be. I don't give a fuck about them. They're a nameless, faceless cretin in chat online. They're not part of my life, and I'm not going to let you make them a part of my life beyond them being in your restream. So I don't give a fuck about them and who they're a part of and some other loser failure group online. They're never has, never will be, is most of them. Never have done, never will do. Not interested.
The title for that video is Sob
You're going to keep steamrolling and pushing your agenda. I don't care. Don't care.
It was
what
about
do you
my
need to hear?
Ideology.
I don't care. Don't care about some bullshit metaversal myths and online lore. These are loser failures going nowhere. Why are you telling me this?
My Sob-Sid ideology. Well, I thought it was interesting because
it's not interesting. It's only interesting to you. Is anyone else interested, Brian? Are you interested in that? who this clown is down there? Is anyone in chat interested in who the nameless, faceless loser failures online who can't come up here and talk or have no reputation for doing and being anything in life worth a damn? Does anyone care?
Nope.
Yeah, probably.
There's
not.
only
You're
one
right.
reason folks are listening to me, because I've done something at some time and am something at some time that is worthy of looking at and listening to on some level.
Yeah, let's
These
just
folks
move
are
on.
nothingness. It's going
Yeah, let's
nowhere.
just move on.
Ask them what they do. What are they a part of? What have they created? Ask them to present themselves and speak from their heart. They're nothing. They're going nowhere. They're a waste of time, energy, and attention in life. Let's be honest about it.
True.
Jeremiah Payne. Yeah, no one cares about shiz. The person
Right.
named themselves exactly what they are. That's a slang way of saying shit. Like I told my father the other day, the majority of these slaves would have to work hard to become a piece of shit. A piece of shit doesn't destroy itself and its environment. A piece of shit, when mixed together, can become manure to feed and to flower and grow and create. The majority of slaves are worse than a piece of shit. They don't enrich or nourish their environment or others at all. They're a fucking waste of time, energy, attention, and life. Let's be honest about it. I could do a lot with shit. I could grow a lot with that. I could do a lot with that. I can't do nothing with these motherfuckers. And if I can't use them, God damn sure can't use them. One comes before the other. I don't even think the devil can use most of these motherfuckers. They're so weak, fence riding, and cowardly and inactive. God can't use it, and neither can the devil. That's a shitty place to be. It's called useless.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm dismissing my court-appointed attorney and representing myself.
Okay, start with this.
That's what you need to do, Josh. Go convince all these cretins to go run for office and to put on costumes and be part of the state acting game. So that when we go to court, we get to face them and actually have an interaction and we can play the game, right? If not, they're fucking useless. They're just an NPC number, just a pawn in the game. Just there to be parasited and sucked off of so the energy can go on and be used for this system to proliferate. Just matrix pod people, right? At least get up off your fat ass, go down to the court, put on a costume, and let's fucking play a little bit as we go into disempowerment and degradation and fascism completely. Let's gamble. Let's have some fun.
What's
We're
your
looking
name?
for players here.
Chloe Whitsitt.
Okay. And you're intending upon representing yourself in this matter?
At this time, yes, Your Honor, I am. I am dismissing the court-appointed attorney.
You dumbass.
At this time, yes.
Okay. What's going on?
Until my family and I decide what law firm we are going to choose, I will be representing myself.
Okay. All right. So you need time to seek a attorney?
Well, not really, but I have a request at this time as I am representing myself.
Well, not until such time as I relieve Mr. Durkas.
Okay, thank you.
What I'm trying, I have not done so.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out what the issue is and what you're intending upon doing.
Dismissing the court-appointed attorney and representing myself.
Okay.
I'm sorry. At this time, I can't make it any clearer, and I don't
No,
understand.
You're not making it very clear to me at all.
Okay,
You're not listening.
I'm
you're just
confused.
talking. Are you going to hire an attorney?
Yes.
Or are you going to represent yourself?
Today, Your Honor, I'm going to represent myself. If my request is denied by you, then I will be hiring an attorney. I can't make it any clearer than that.
So you're going to, so if I relieve Mr. Durkas, you're going to represent yourself.
Yes, sir.
So if they
Okay, so she's already a dumbass. We're like into Castro land. Like we're even beyond that at this point. Because she just said she's going to represent herself as what exactly? You present yourself or you don't. And you're not being charged as a self. The person's being charged who you're representing yourself as. That's why it's appear in person. Okay? So we're not going to represent ourselves. And if you are going to present yourself, the administrator of the proceedings, who's third party and impartial, basically a referee, has no say in the matter. He's not there to give you legal advice and be your legal counsel. This is why you folks, you need a good 1,000 hours into what the fuck we're doing and talking and practicing. So just call this a wash, right? You need like 10 court presentments before you're going to get it together. So like, just mark it down. I got 10 of them to go through. Once I get through the 10, I'll have some level of understanding of where I'll be at. This is not it. So get 10 under your belt at least. Understand what's going on here in arraignment. Understand the administrator's third party impartial. He's a referee. He doesn't have the authority to tell you you can't present your facts and record firsthand. As a matter of fact, he's got a duty and obligation supposedly to make sure every man or woman involved with firsthand knowledge swears in and presents the facts of the matter. He has no say in it. Why you would turn over your legal counsel and power and lawful counsel and power to a third-party administrator is why you guys are slaves. He's not there. That's why he's now, if I had a bet, going to say, ma'am, I'm going to appoint you an attorney, court appointed, or I'm going to advise you to go get one because you're a tard and you don't know what you're doing. Okay? That's what he's probably going to say. Because if you did, you wouldn't be asking the administrator that you call a judge to be your legal counsel and give you legal advice or lawful advice. You're not a woman. You're not a man. You don't know what you're doing, who and what you are, what you're not. You don't understand what words and terms mean, how it all applies. You're basically an incompetent. So they're going to do a psych eval now. They're going to appoint you an attorney now because he knows the first 3 seconds in what I know that you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about and what you're doing. And he's trying to help you the best way he can without violating like both sides of the dual jurisdiction in the game. You think he's there to hurt you and harm you. He's like begging men and women to come forth and be competent and capable like they all are. You're not going to be able to get it done. He's going to have to give you a state actor to advise you as the child of the state that you are and child of the lie, right? See, this is not how it goes when you know who and what you are, what you're not, and you're unwavering and you're not willing to play the game and you understand status and standing, inherent hierarchical power and value systems, and positioning and systems dynamics. When you understand how a court works, how it's supposed to work in order to upkeep the prosperity of any society, then you know how to move in that venue. And you also know what's wrong and incorrect, so you don't go for that. And you remind them, hey, you're third party impartial. Unless I confer jurisdiction with you, I retain that power and that sovereignty in this room. There's no other man or woman on the other side. That's why you don't belong in that court to begin with. A court of law is a court with two participants, a man or woman on one side as the claimant, a man or woman on the other side as the respondent. Anytime you get paperwork where it says the state of, city of, some legal entity of versus another legal all caps entity, they're trying to draw you into that corporate world and capacity and jurisdiction to charge you and generate revenue and tap your trust. They're going to get paid 3 different ways. Why do you keep inserting yourself into these arguments? Why do you keep resisting it? Why do you keep submitting to it and believing on it and accepting that it's real and true? Why can't you just put your status and standing on the record and shut the fuck up? That's what every legal counsel will tell you to do. Just shut up and don't answer any questions. Even if you go to trial, they can't get it done because you're not saying anything. They don't have any firsthand evidence. They don't even have a firsthand witness in most of these cases. The arresting officer is the witness who wind up taking the stand. That's a conflict of interest because the witness has to be third party and impartial. It can't be the arresting officer. You could literally kill someone, and if the person's dead and there's no witness, even if the arresting officer saw it, he'd be hard pressed to be a valid witness because he's the arresting officer. You need a third party impartial witness. That's why a lot of murders go unsolved and they can't try it, nor can they win, because you have to turn state's evidence against yourself in all of these cases. There's no corpus delicti. There's no firsthand evidence. There's no facts on record. The best we can do is evidence, which is not proof. The only way they get everybody is with their words on record and their testimony and your submission to the status and standing and capacity. I'll say it over and over again because we're all been pimped and duped on. We all think we're so powerless and voiceless. We all don't realize we've given our power and voice away and let the state actors take the position of the people while we appear in person. We've been duped and pimped and played, and they flipped the script on us. We got to get back to taking back ownership of ourselves, our property, our rights, our personal choice, and we need to present properly at court. And you need to stop saying things like, I'm going to represent myself or I'm pro se. Just stop saying anything. Did you get the claim? Did you get the record? This is who and what I am. Once you're made aware of it, you have a duty and obligation at that point. We got nothing to talk about vocally. There's no reason to. Till another man or woman comes into that room who's going to swear in and testify, I'm not going to turn state's evidence on myself, and I'm damn sure not going to argue the facts of the matter with a third-party impartial administrator referee. And I'm damn sure not going to let him decide as my legal counsel and advisor what's going to go on this record or not. Are you kidding? You guys have no idea. You've been in slavery so long, you have no idea what it means to be an empowered man or woman and to take charge of a situation and to move a fucking court like a king or a queen. That's why we're in slavery. You get what you give. You act like a punk-ass coward slave with no knowledge, then you get treated like one. You act like a child, you get treated like one. Child, once it grows up, doesn't ask daddy and mama for what it's going to do and not do. Those days are over. I'm of sound mind. I'm of reason. I care for myself and upkeep myself. I'm perfectly capable of making decisions and charting my destiny. Why don't you show up to court like real men and women and not like the Castro and the rest of these slaved out childlike clowns? Why don't you really move somebody in the interaction? Move your fucking self back to truth and faith and honorability and move the rest of the people at that court. That's our only hope here. If not, we're fucked.
You're ready to go?
This is I'm representing myself today. I don't know what all happens today, but I'm talking to the judge without the court-appointed attorney.
No, man.
Okay, well, I don't.
Don't listen. You don't you dare just lean on my podium and pretend like that. Not here.
Do you hear it? It's so obvious. She showed herself to be a petulant, broken child, and now he's going to talk to her like one. Don't you side-eye me, little woman. He's going to use her middle name anytime now. Catherine Zeta-Jones, don't you side-eye me, little missy. Don't you lean on that podium. You stand up straight. That's it. You're going to get pimped on now. Because you came in talking a bunch of crap and nonsense. You submitted to their jurisdiction. You don't even know it. And now you think you're going to assert your rights in their house. And they're going to mama and daddy your ass. Just don't get it.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pass the matter because if you come back up and start banging your nails on that podium, you're going to be going with Mr. Allen. You may have a seat. Don't shake your head at me. Oh. Mr. Allen, might want to have a conversation with her and tell her that she better check herself before she comes back up here.
Mm-hmm.
She better check herself.
Thank you, Mr. Durk.
Look, he's laughing and giggling. He knows it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
They know it's all bullshit. It's like Slavin was in the back. The judge, the administrator who's dealing with Josh over here. He's in the back, yucking it up, laughing and giggling. They know it's all bullshit. He knows she's a goofy bitch.
Yeah, they try to act so mad.
It's an act, bro. Just like I do here half the time. It's an act, but it's not. Because guess what? That guy's sick of everybody's incompetence and he's frustrated. So it's real easy to do an act, non-act and go, get your shit together. Look at you this, look at that, look at this, look at that. Because he knows himself. He knows the truth of life. He knows what the fuck you don't know about you and what's going on there. And he thinks you're a fucking joke. And until you present in some way that indicates something to the contrary, he's going to treat you like it. I do the same thing here with folks day in and day out. As soon as they establish their honorable, presentable, good faith, that they can converse properly with etiquette and grace on some level, and fuck that, throw the etiquette and grace out. I'm not the most etiquette-driven or graceful being at times, but some kind of competence and capability and generalized understanding, then the energy changes. Now we can bond, right? Now we can have a conversation. Now we can take this somewhere. You want to show up, be a belligerent, combative, act out, talk a bunch of nonsense. When you're asked questions, not be able to answer properly, you're going to get fucking dealt with. You're going to get treated like mommy and daddy used to treat you. Actually, they never did treat you like that. And that's part of the problem. We got a whole generation of folks who don't understand discipline. And no, that doesn't necessarily mean control and domination and condemnation and judgment. It means they haven't been fucking sat down through their upbringing and told by a strong man or woman, this is who and what we are, this is who and what we need to be, and if not, this is what's going to happen. And then let a motherfucker go live and learn for himself what life is about. Folks have not been led properly. They've not been taught discipline. They've not been shown how to become discerning. There's no practice, process, procedure, or ethic in the home. This is why governance is proliferating, because men and women are not raising their fucking children in logic, morals, ethics, and civics any longer. It's a problem. You got a bunch of folks who become ungovernable because they won't govern themselves and can't govern themselves by not ascertaining right from wrong and what's necessary and proper. It's called a complete loss of common fucking sense. So it makes perfect sense that these folks are there in their costumes acting as everybody's collective mommy and daddy. We have no more mommies and daddies in the home, technically. And guess what? They got a docket and they running a business there on some level. They don't have time to mommy and daddy you the way your mommy and daddy should have. They got to make it fairly quick. So, hey, here's the deal. Here's what the fuck you need to know. Here's what you're going to have to do. Let's go. Be a man and a woman. We don't have all day. The same thing they're going to tell you on a fucking construction site or any job site where there's real men and women working there. Let's go. Here's the program. Know what you need to know. Get with it. If not, you're going to learn through tough experience. If it takes you that much to learn, that much through tough experience, at some point, we're going to throw your bitch ass out of here. And we might haze you a little bit along the way and pour shit on you and show you that you're a fucking loser failure. Get it together. And I get it. It's not the most nicest, kindest, politest way to do growth and change and learning and development. Not at all. It's very fraternal in its ordering. It's very Saturnalian in its ways. You might argue, so am I at times. I see the power and the value of worldly ways at times and what they can do and produce. Sometimes you got to put a fire under a motherfucker's ass. Sometimes you got to remind them that this is the real deal. There's consequences to our actions, thoughts, emotions, actions, and inactions. You could argue that the God of this world is really preparing you to meet the God of creation. You better learn fucking quick and you better become who and what you're meant to and need to become. If not, you're going to face Big Daddy. He's not going to have some kind words for you. You know, whether he's a loving God of creation or not, he's not going to have kind words for you when it comes to the judgment on you knowing what the fuck you need to do and be and accepting way less. That goes for all of us. That's the point of a localized conscience. If you don't want to talk about the idea of God or the archetypal, serving something outside of yourself, locally, it's just conscience. Every one of us knows we can do and be and have better, and oftentimes we don't. So the judgment of the results, the effect of the cause comes in.
So who wants to go next?
Who wants to go
Christian
next?
Philippe.
We're having fun here.
Who's
We're
up
playing
next?
the game.
Next
Yeah, we're
one.
playing the
Next
game.
up.
Come on.
Up next.
We're pimping and macking here a little bit.
Yeah, next customer. Let's check
Yeah,
out.
we're
Hurry
on
up.
behalf of Chloe Whitsett.
Oh,
Your name.
But apologies on behalf of my client for earlier. I did have an opportunity to speak with her during that break and go over the process of where we are, what's going on right now. She did tell me that she would like to obtain a new attorney. So in the meantime, I can assist her with getting a copy of the discovery, getting a copy of the videos, which I don't have yet. I was going to be asking for an adjournment today to obtain those. So ultimately, I'd be asking for at least a 2-week adjournment. And I talked to her about her behavior in court, and I think that she has an understanding of that and will abide by anything the court orders her to do. So with that, I'd be asking for an adjournment of today's hearing.
Is all of that correct, Ms. Whitsett?
Your Honor, I would like to apologize. I had complete zero understanding. But yes, that is correct.
Ms. Whitsett, let me tell you something. I should have locked you up. You're lucky that I just took a deep breath and said, I don't know what's going on. I'm just asking her questions. And you come in here, I don't think we've ever seen each other. And you just come in here disrespecting me in this court. I'm going to tell you something else.
It's just like this is
Hey,
just
man,
pure
Sam,
power and
besides
value
you
games, right?
right now,
Big dramatic
the only
pause.
thing
Big
that saved you from
dramatic
going to
pause.
jail,
For nothing.
I had pretty much made up my mind that when I came back out here because of what you had done, you were gone. So while you may not want him representing you, he just saved you.
There you go. This is like good cop, bad cop now. Now they're double pimping, right?
Well,
now they got their buddy, the bar guy there that took her outside and said, listen, lady, you don't know what you need to know. That's Big Daddy up there, right? I can't even save you or help you beyond a certain point. They're just doing mob psychological tactics, power games, right? Oh, you're so lucky that guy you didn't want to represent you got you outside to get you under an understanding that I'm your daddy here today. He saved you. He's laughing and joking while he's saying it, man. It's like Sammy the Bull when he's telling a story about threatening the guy to kill him, and the whole time he ain't even planning on killing him. He just told him that to get him out of his skin. They love this game, man. I love the game too. I love the game. When you folks are deceived and you get tricked out of your power and value with some words and some acting and presentment, it proves you really weren't about it. I love the game. This pimping game is amazing. Because if you really had it in you and you were really about it, then there's nowhere to go with this. Other than you maybe collecting yourself and saying, you know what, sir, you're absolutely right. There's a different way that I could come into this court and put the facts of the matter on record. I got a little bit fearful, right? There's some reasons why I got fearful, but we don't even need to get into it. I'm not going to play the victim. Here's who and what I am. Here's what's going on. And I'm just going to leave it right there. What say you? Right? The same way as if you're courting in any other situation with a man or a woman in a relationship, whatever it is. Business partners, this is a process of courting. Hey, we started off on the wrong foot. There's a little bit of an energy. I'm sure you know why, because you guys are pimping and macking in here and you're playing games. Whatever. Here's the facts of the matter. Let's move beyond it. Done. Over. Now we got to go through all the dramatics and we put the gun to the head, cock the hammer, make everybody feel it. Dramatic pause. Refocus, recenter. Oh, my consigliere saved you. See why you really need him next to you, because without him, you'd have been done. I'd have blew your head off. We're just pimping and macking. We're just playing the power games. You know how it goes. Just another day. Mobbed up. You got to love it. You got to learn to love it because it ain't going away, right? What you resist will persist. What you ignore will persist. So really the only option is to love this life, love this game of courting, and then become the best player that you could be. And we know the best game is no game. When I say be a player, I ain't telling lying, cheating, deceiving, frauding. The best player is a non-player, right? I ain't here to play no games. We're here for the truth and the facts of the matter. We're going to have a good sense of humor about the game, you know, because it's all absurdity. It's all nonsense. So the best player is no player. The best game is no game. This is about the truth and the conviction and where your heart lies and surrender and the rest in faith. How could anybody disrespect you if that's how you come to any venue, any relationship, any courting process, any business? How can they ever disrespect you or dishonor you, even if they don't like you or they have something done with you or to you? That's what this conviction game is about. It's metaphysical. It ain't about the physical manifestations. It ain't about the formality. It's about the function. Who or what are we and what are we here to do and be? That's going to be shown one way or the other.
I love the little comments too, by the way,
Let's
down in the
remember
lower
one
right.
other thing. Funny thing about judges, we have exceedingly long memories. You come in here acting like that on the next day, I'm not even going to ask any questions. You are just going to go. Are we clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
April 11th, 2024, 9 a.m. as your invite indicates. It's time the defendant's bond will continue.
Thank you.
Here.
Again, I do apologize.
It's not what it is. That's the thing. They're down there doing it. It's a fine line, man. Like what I do here. He's running a court. He's directing the court. He's administrating the court and its proceedings. And you have to come forward with something that is factual or compelling or at least entertaining for him and isn't a complete pathetic embarrassment of belligerence and petulance. That's all he's saying. He's saying the same thing I'd be saying if I was there, either in my head or out loud. And what's the difference at that point? You got to get shallow to get deep sometimes. So you're going to come in there. You're going to say, I'm a woman. You're going to do the bit, whether he agrees with it or not. You better show something that's compelling and interesting and entertaining and informative or, centering and balancing. Because if not, he's going to say, what the fuck is this? What are we doing here today? This is a waste of my fucking time and yours because you don't know who and what you are and what you're doing. And quite frankly, all I got to do is say 2 or 3 things and I'm going to get you back on your heels and back under the order here one way or the other. So if you ain't going to order yourself and govern yourself, I'm going to order you and govern you for yourself. That's all that's going on there. You can claim it's authority, non-authority. The authority he has is the authority you give him. Right?
It reminds me like if there's like a self-checkout, and the self-checkout cashier, because there's one policing like 6 of the self-checkouts, just like sitting there with a gun, like waving it around, like, come on, hurry up, like get your groceries in the bag, get out of here.
Here we go with the narcissistic. Is it narcissistic? Why are you like, what's with the clinical? Are you guys going to go on meds after this? Are you going to like cry on the couch to your therapist? What's the difference? What it is rather than what it's calling you to be. I and the system and everyone can be inherently as narcissistic as the day is long. The point here is, what is it calling you forth to do and be? Why are folks not as interested in what their potential is and what's meant for them and what they're called to do and be rather than who's saying what, doing what, not saying what, not doing what? There you go again. The system is exactly what the fuck it needs to be to call out exactly who and what we need to be. Why are you focusing on qualifying it with clinical psychological language that you clearly don't understand?
Yeah, that's an odd comment. I don't think you can assign
everyone who prioritizes their own understanding and beingness in life becomes narcissistic. You can do the same. If he's going to prioritize black robe, statute, policy, and code and courting games, well, you can prioritize whatever it is, who and what you are, and you can set boundaries. Just like you can with a narcissist, as you all want to call it. Nothing's stopping you from doing from the inverse side everything they're doing and claiming who and what you are, what your position is, what you're going to do and be and not giving a fuck about what anyone else says or thinks. I argue that's what the majority of folks need. So maybe you folks need to get a little bit more narcissistic and egotistical, like the system, like Paulie Boy. I'll wear the hat and own the position if that's what it's got to be. Doesn't change the facts of the matter. He ain't shaking and stumbling and mumbling up there. He knows what he's going to say and do. He's got an awareness of you and can read you intuitively and who and what you are, what you know and don't know. So when you become like that administrator, as narcissistic and egotistical as he is from the other side of things, you might get somewhere in yourself and in life and stop being someone else's property all the time.
Yeah. 100%.
Why are you telling me you're Kevin when I just took you out of there because you're scrolling my chat only to come back with a second name and scroll my chat? Most likely because you're intoxicated, because it's a common theme with you. When you're here on the days where you tend to drink more, you start scrolling my chat. Then you can't figure out why I time you out, and then you come back with a second name and do the same behavior again. Oh, there goes Paulie Boy being egotistical and narcissistic by calling out the fucking obvious in order to create a change in the being I'm speaking to and about. When does the change come, you may ask? That's the question. But instead of him making the change and doing what's necessary for this chat to operate properly by anyone's standards, he's going to continue to do whatever he wants and project onto me that I'm a victimizer. Do you see the dynamic? Sounds familiar. Sounds very familiar. Sounds a lot like governance, statute, policy, and code. Instead of you folks becoming who and what you need to be to call in the proper representation and service, right? Who and what you are is what you get back. You want to keep accepting less for yourselves and acting like something's going to show up at some point other than who and what you are and have become. Can't run from self. As within, so without. As above, so below. You get the government you deserve on the whole, because the majority of individuals are incompetent, incapable, non-self-aware, dissolute, and unresolved, and won't do and be better to have better, but expect things to get better. It's called insanity. That is a perfect correlation, right? Because this is a holographic simulation. The same dynamic you see here regularly between me and Kevin K is the same dynamic you see between the public and governance. And you can call one of us narcissistic and egotistical. It doesn't change the facts of the matter. Doesn't change the cause and effect. Doesn't change the system's dynamics in creation. How we play our part and what we bring forth is a whole other conversation. All right, we're 30 minutes over. What do you want here, Mr.
Dr.
Broken
D
System?
I'm pretty good with closing it down. If you're good with that, appreciate you having me up here. I thought you did good with Miss Mandy. Thank you for doing that. I think she benefited from it as well. But yeah, I'm cool with closing it down. If you are, we can keep going for a little bit. It's up to you.
All right, well, we got a fairly sizable audience here in comparison to other days, so maybe I just let it roll for the sake of these folks, give them something to look at. I might not be doing them any favors. They may need to get the fuck off the metaverse and off YouTube and back to their own affairs and their own life and create something and be something. I might be harming them indirectly. All right, Councilman May's Greatest Moments, Volume 2. Let's go to some of that, see how the audience responds or reacts to that. Maybe we'll continue on or wrap up after. Who knows? You never know what you're going to get here at Unslaved Industries.
Did you make a motion, Ms. Fields, to withdraw your motion?
Madam Chair, you are correct. I did not.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Councilman May.
I wouldn't care if you withdrew it or not, because I wasn't going to vote for it. And if 4 more voted for it, they were foolish. Now here she bargaining on an illegal motion that didn't even fit. And y'all buying into it. Buy into this. When I get the flow, if I dog Miss Fields out and talk about she won't let nobody talk for a sentence, that's a lie. People talking for a sentence. And if Miss Fields says she didn't make a motion, that's a lie. The tape will show it. So I'm tired of sitting at the table with folks lying, talking about me, can't say a sentence. Hell, she said more than a sentence when she put the motion on the floor and you called on her first. You called on her first, Miss Galloway. She made a motion. It was probably second. You called on her first. She said a whole lot more than one sentence and didn't get interrupted. She's a bald-faced liar and it's on tape. I'm telling you, don't interrupt me when they dog me out.
What's your point of order?
He's calling other people liars.
It's a personal attack. Mr. Mays, please refrain from the personal attack.
No, it's a fact. It's a fact that you can look at the tape, see she said more than one sentence and then get interrupted. She lied on me. And so a lie is a fact, particularly when it's on tape. And you sit there and then point of order her attacking me. And I don't appreciate the attacks. Whatever you and Miss Fields and Miss Worthen has got going. I'm going to use my 5 minutes to discussion on this motion, just like she talked about me and her 5, and you was like Jesus on the cross. You never said a mumbling word. I want just that portion of the tape. Because when you keep saying what you know, that's when I'm going to sue you personally. Talking about what you know. You don't know nothing. Now, my position is this. I want everybody from this day forward to remember when I talk about Kate Fields, I'm reacting to her nastiness. I'm never going to stop. When I talk about Eva Worthen, who runs with Kate Fields, it's going to be reacting to their nastiness. That's how I'm going to operate. Miss Fields is nasty. You nasty. You's a nasty woman.
Point of order.
What's your point?
President, you know that Mr. Mays cannot use that type of
Done it.
name calling.
Councilman, can you
okay,
refrain from that?
she's a nasty fourth ward council person. Now that's in her professional capacity. She done talked about me like a dog.
I understand.
And I told you she couldn't take it. She's the nastiest elected official sitting on this council that I know in her official capacity. You're a nasty official council person. She did a point of order. Okay, I'll wait.
No, but I want you to go ahead and move. Let's go.
Let me say this, Mr. President. I'm not going to quit. Until she quit being nasty in her official capacity, she's a nasty elected.
Point of order.
Point of order.
Must be removed.
No, I want you removed for saying you know that I'm breaking the law, and that's illegal. All I can do is say yes or no and be germane. I can't speak on the why. How do I do that, Madam Chair? You and your crew.
Can you pause this for just a second?
I got the floor. I'm asking a question of the chair and the Fabulous 5. Do this black council person from the first ward just have to say yes or no on the postponement? Fab 5? Black got a lot to do with it, Gladys. You out of order. I want her out of here. You want me to get out of here?
You are warned. Please, Miss Gladys. No more. Councilman Mays.
Happen to be white.
Councilman Mays, stop it, please.
I told him to stop.
I already did, and Gladys has. And Councilman Mays, I'm going to rule you out of order.
You already time. And you had me arrested before in court. I asked a question.
I don't know what this is, but I love it. I don't know what it is, but I love it. Like instant love.
At some point, righteous indignation is valid. You can argue it's not the best way to get things done, but to invalidate it, like he's tired of the games and the corporate corruption and the servants not giving a fuck about the people they serve and get paid by. It's an atrocity.
It looks like they had a conference table, and it looks like, I don't know if it was like a public meeting. I don't know what the hell I was looking at. All I know is I loved every minute.
It's a city council. It's a circus city council, like they all are.
I loved every minute. I loved every second of that. That guy is the hero. I love that man. If I could talk to that man, I would love to get an interview with that man.
Yeah, the only difference between that and every other circus city council is there's at least one person there who's not willing to go alone to get along and do corrupt business as usual, which is like a fucking anomaly, right? Oh my God. Can't imagine that.
Yeah. Usually folks like that kind of get dealt with in the parking lot after in a tragic accident somewhere.
All right, let's get to the break in slave news here quickly and wrap up. Houthis give attack drones to Al-Qaeda to fight U.S. military. So here we go now, along with the other reports that they keep pushing. There's going to be an attack on the homeland by the Iranians and the Muslims. So, it's not like we've seen this before, right? Where shit gets blown up and people get blamed and then our rights get taken and the future gets changed irreparably, it would seem, over the course of 10 to 20 years. So, yeah, we're doing it again. FBI, CIA, all these folks telling everyone, yeah, the attack's coming, it's got to come. And they're going to blame it on them. And, we got a lot of anti-Semitism going on too. A lot of codes coming in for anti-Semitism that they call laws. Because, we're going to have to make victims out of some people. We're going to have to empower other groups. We're going to have to create power differentials. And we're going to have to use the system for expansionism and fascism. under the guise of victimization. It's not like we've done this before when we did the Holocaust, right? I mean, we didn't do it, but we did it because it's humans, it's human condition, it's human consciousness. It's all the same loop over and over again. Got to have victims, got to have perpetrators, got to have a hidden enemy all around you, might even be within you. Got to take off the majority to camps and re-educate them, or just take their property and rights and freedoms, for safety.
For
Fascism
safety.
101. Yeah.
Yeah, for safety. Of course, for safety.
Al Qaeda's back, and they have Houthi missiles. Look at them. look at the close-ups of the Houthi terrorists.
It almost looks too good to be true, like a movie.
It looks like that convertible that they launched into space that Elon said they were riding around in space.
I'm just enjoying the production value here. Like the editing skills are like top notch.
This is really hardcore pure propaganda right here. This is what gets everybody fired up.
Yeah,
a little bit of fanfare music in the back.
Yeah, this is a TikTok that they were filming. This is behind the scenes footage of their latest TikToks.
They're releasing group leaders. Al Qaeda's all being let out of prison. It's really bad, guys.
Yeah, because the first thing they do at these undercover camps is say, "Hey, come in with some cameras so you can like send this to folks around the world."
Right.
It makes it look like we're training. we run on some monkey bars real quick. Here, send this to the world.
Well, ISIS is marketing and promoting, right? I mean, think about it. Every organization has to promote and market just to replace folks who might have died or gone to prison, like outlaw motorcycles. Everyone markets and promotes in their own way. They do toy drives. So maybe like ISIS is doing like toy drives for the kids. They're getting their name out there. Hey, be a part of ISIS. We got a whole thing going on. There's meth, there's women, just like the biker clubs do. People join.
Yeah,
so, yeah, they let them in. They
toys
do
for tats. Just do our tats for toys or something like that. That I think we got a theme going right there. It's for everybody.
I'm
really
totally for this. The gray dude says they're outlawing the Bible. You keep saying outlawing, and I'm going to keep saying good because you won't listen. They can't outlaw or law anything. Okay, they can code stuff, and then you can follow it or not. So I'm totally for them writing up more code that makes the Bible, as you say, outlawed. Because I'm tired of folks needing a fucking book in order to how to use their own conscience. Right?
Yeah,
In order to know how to use their own conscience, it doesn't require a fucking book. So I'm totally for it. I want to bring back book burnings, burn it all, because I want to prove how baseless this human consciousness is with objectivity when it comes to right from wrong, morality, logic, and ethics. I want to show that once and for all. So go ahead, make the code, take all the Bibles, and show how dumb and undisciplined and unwilling and unrighteous the average human citizen slave is. That they need a book to figure out how to not cause loss, injury, and harm, and how to pay your fucking debts.
Yeah. I can't believe you're being such a naysayer about this, though, because if they come up with a law outlawing the Bible, that will fix the problem right there. So I don't know why you're being such a negative Nancy about it.
They need that. These people need that. The Bible has enslaved them, and every other code book has enslaved them because they think that their experience is in the book. It's in them and a part of their life.
Well,
it makes the book superfluous. At best, it's a correlative endeavor. You can correlate the book to your experience. If you can't do that, you're fucked anyway. So I say, ban the fucking book, ban it all. If the human beings can't figure out how to use their own firsthand experience and oral history and written history and firsthand communication and conscience to understand right from wrong and be prosperous, well, it's already fucked anyway. So let's just let it all go, right? No sense in delaying the inevitable. Paul is very talkative, and I hate he puts us humans down. Well, there you go. You missed the whole point of what the fuck I'm saying. It's like he didn't realize I'm also a human. So when I put humans down, I'm indirectly putting myself down. I'm not putting down, I'm actually raising up. But you're in inversion land. So when I reach out to pull you up, you say I'm putting you down. When your average politico or false religionist puts you down, you say they're raising you up. Because you mistake the false for the true and the true for the false, and you think up is down and down is up. I'm putting you down by revealing or calling attention and awareness to the fact that we keep accepting less for ourselves and each other on all levels. To the point where you need to go to a 2,000-year-old fucking manual in order to know how to be a good fucking person and use your heart-based intelligence and conscience. sorry for the put down. I contend you've been put down already. Like an animal, you've already been domesticated and subjugated, and you've already been put down spiritually. You're already spiritually dead. You need a 2,000-year-old book in order to unite with a holy living spirit today. You've already been put down. And when I try to get you out of your put down, you say, stop putting me down, because you think the put down is raising you up from their side. You're a duped, gullible, indoctrinated, dogmatic clown. Put yourself down. I just did. All criticism is self-criticism. The difference is when I was 12 years old, the mind control, the heart control never completely took with me. That's why you know of me. Because while it worked on you, it never worked on me. If it did, it didn't work completely. So yeah, I was that guy, like thrown out of religious school and instruction, thrown out of pretty much every modern day institution and corporation at one point or another for doing what it is they can't do or won't do, which is be truthful, honorable, presentable, and answer questions directly with their firsthand experience and understanding. Yeah, religious folks don't like that. The instructors, wait a second, you want us to use common sense and firsthand experience and objective logic, morals, and ethics to communicate our experience and understanding of self and God? Oh man, you got to go. See, I'm the problem there. I was putting them down, I guess, by attempting to raise them out of their chaos and confusion. Thoughts on any of that? Forget it. Who needs thoughts?
Yeah, I just like the confusion part. I love it. But no, speaking of moving on, I think I'm going to drop down and close out the show. But I think fantastic stream.
I got to stop you. This guy's revealing more to us. Happy people like happy people. Sad people like sad people. Which one are you? Why did you reduce all of the human dynamic down to a dualistic, false dynamic and dichotomy? As if happy people are just happy all the time everywhere? There's no other aspects to a person who you've deemed as a happy person. Who is a happy person exactly? Mr. Rogers back in the day? Would he be like a happy person?
Yeah, it's great when you meet a happy person at a funeral. You know what I mean?
Josh, please. All right?
Go for it.
Just let me deal with this person. All right? Let me deal with this person's chaos and confusion. Because in their world, there are people who are just happy all the time, every day, no matter what's going on. They're just happy, peppy people. And then there's sad people who they're just sad. All day, every day, just sad. Oh, here's the turkey. I'm sad. here's your new Tesla Cybertruck on the house. I'm sad.
Sad.
What are you even talking about? You guys are so broken and childlike in your just apprehension of self and reality. Have you ever met anyone who was happy all the time or sad all the time? I don't think reality exists that way. Furthermore, what is happy exactly? You folks just say shit like happy. You know, there's folks who were like in the camps in the Holocaust, genociding people and cutting heads off, and they couldn't be happier. Is happy somehow equated to some virtue I'm not aware of? I mean, John Wayne Gacy apparently was his happiest when he was binding and torturing young boys and raping them. Couldn't be happier. Does it mean I want to hang with John Wayne Gacy because he's happy all the time? You might meet him when he's at his happiest, and it's going to be trouble for you. Are you getting what I'm saying here when it comes to like actual honor, actual respect, actual virtue and truth, actual law versus you appealing to false emotion and false authority that happy people like other happy people? Yeah, that's why so many happy people wound up under John Gacy's floor. They found him to be really happy. Late at night, drinking and molesting and raping and killing children, apparently, or young men, like Jeffrey Dahmer and all the rest of them. Really happy people. Drew in a bunch of other happy, gullible, naive, duped out people that they could then prey on. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah,
all the women who got in Ted Bundy's trunk. Josh, please. You're not helping. You're not a happy person. I am. I'm very happy right now. In this moment, what I'm doing right now, they're not happy about it. I'm very happy. I'm like Ted Bundy when those women got into his trunk. He was at his happiest. They were happy people. Hey, just get in the trunk, lady. I'm good looking and charismatic, and I'm happy right now. Why am I happy? Because you're getting in my trunk, and I'm going to go kill you and rape you.
I'm carved
She
up
was
right
like,
now.
wow, you seem really happy, and this is a large trunk. I'm going to get on in. Next thing you know, really bad, evil shit's happening. I never once put a woman in the trunk. I never once put a man under my floorboards. I'm just talking online, and I'm at my happiest right now. Why are you not happy with me being happy? Quite frankly, you just said sad people like sad people are attracted there. If I'm a sad person, why are you here? Is it possible I'm sad and you're also sad? Paul might be a serial killer. Okay, there you go. That's what he got out of this. That's you.
That's
There's a guy
the
named
message.
Fab Daddy 44 online with no picture of yourself arguing with me from a chat box, hearing things and imagining things. That's you. I might be the best broadcaster ever. Might be. Didn't say I was. Might be. It's arguable. Can be argued by me. I might be the best broadcaster ever. That might be you, the serial killer. You're not a happy person. You just said I was sad, and you're here watching me. That makes you really sad because you're here for free. I'm getting paid to be here. So if I'm sad and you're attracted to me and you're also sad, you're really more sad of a person than I am, and you're probably way more likely to be serial killer.
I
mean,
just
who
want
am
to
I
know
going to
is,
serial kill anyway? I'm in the middle of nowhere. Josh, please.
okay.
There's only a few people around here. It'd hardly be a serial killer event. Like I could kill Jennifer, maybe the dog. That's not serial killing. It's a couple victims.
Well, I
Get
mean,
a hold
like,
of yourself down there.
yeah, technically, like me too. You're kind of like, you know, got me in the trunk. You know what I mean?
Is it comfortable back there?
I can wait it out. I can wait it out. Like it's hard to breathe back here,
Yeah,
but
just hang out.
Yeah, just hang out and chill and just hang out. Just don't move. Just as a matter of fact, don't struggle. It makes it worse.
Hold your fire! This man isn't black!
Man.
I want
That
to
must
know
have
if
been my
Fat Daddy
producer is also a policy enforcement officer. That's what that
there-
was.
Yeah. Is Fab Daddy dressed in clown makeup right now?
Sometimes he'll
while
yell
they're
out
fighting?
stuff from his field experience and training, like "Don't shoot, he's not black." And I go, "Hey, bro, you're not doing policy enforcement anymore. You're producing for the big guy." All right, I'm done, man. I'm done. I
Yeah,
can't, can't handle these slaves in your chat. They're in your chat too. They're not in mine. You got a slave hornet's nest over there.
Yeah. I'm surprised it took them this long to come out of the woodwork, to be honest. But hey, maybe we can keep doing this. I'll keep seeing. I mean, if
All
I
right, one
could
more.
talk to you in
Hold on,
private-
Josh, please. One more. This is
Okay.
for you. Sovereign citizen wounds deputies in deadly shootout. You're a sob piece of trash, and you're
Yes.
unsafe. And a lot of folks who come here. Not me. I'm a professional broadcaster at this point. I'm loved by many. I'm a leader of this community. My only activism is that of love, brothers and sisters. So
Yeah, and I'm just a
I'm a
violent.
friend of everyone.
I'm just a violent South extremist, I guess.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
you're like Slavin doesn't like you. You like to show up there and fuck around with them and play games. They can't stand you. I mind my business.
Yeah, he's gonna use
All right,
the
this is
second
you.
amendment.
No, this is you right here.
Judge said a man in the park shortly after midnight. If you
I'm
are
doing what the prosecutor would do.
Judge said a
Through
man
red court.
in the vehicle who has not been identified.
Pretty sure
but
this
did
is
not
him, Your
cooperate
Honor.
with the deputy. asked him to
Yeah,
get
I'm
out
pretty
of the
sure it's
car.
him. It looked
Deputy
exactly
called
like
for
him.
backup, and when Lieutenant Chad Anderson and Deputy Craig Smith arrived, the man opened fire, according to Judd. Anderson is in critical but stable condition, and Smith is listed as stable. Judge said other deputies who responded to the scene opened fire, killing that gunman. He said the suspect was a sovereign citizen, which means he believed the laws did not apply to him. Now, Grady Jones held a news conference that
No, Mr. Journalist, Mr. Cronkite of your error. You're a regular Walter Cronkite. No, that's not what's happening. The words and terms don't make sense. The sovereign citizens are the agents who are public servants who think they can do whatever they want. They're the sovereign citizens. They think they're above the law of the land. The people you're talking about, much like me, believe statute, policy, and code doesn't apply to them. It's only given the force of law through the consent of the governed. You guys are the sovereign citizens. You have a duty and obligation to uphold the rights of man and woman. You're not doing that in favor of immoral statute, policy, and code through fraudulent contracts that the dumb slaves keep opting into, by the way. So we got a dualistic issue and problem and failure here of the record and obligations. So yeah, like just keep saying it. We'll just keep saying sovereign citizens. It's not us, it's them, and they say they don't want to follow the law. No, there's always law. It's called conscience, if nothing else. Right? We all know not to lie, cheat, steal, kill, and all the rest of it. At least we should. I guess we all don't. That's the problem. We should. Right? So turns out, once again, in inversion land, there's the narcissism, like they like to say. There's the gaslighting and inversion where whatever they're doing, they're saying you're doing it. And then they're calling something different than what it is. We don't want to follow your thousands and millions of statute, policy, and code that make no sense or are immoral. We always have a law one way or the other. It's in us, it's not on us or around us, and it's definitely not in a fucking book.
A short time ago, the sheriff there and other local officials. I do want to play that for you, raw and unfiltered.
Raw.
Look at the tard down there. He won't stop. I can't even get on with this clip because the tards keep going. I'm an proud citizen. I love America. Also hate some of it. Great stuff.
Yeah,
you don't even understand because you're a double-minded person in cognitive dissonance. You think that I don't love America / love people on some level, whether I like what they do or not, have a love for life. I've learned that. I've practiced that. It wasn't always that way. Right. So you love America. You love yourself. You love people. You love your land and your family and God and the truth. So you got to live that. You're conflating United States of America with America and what the law and philosophy of that land and God's people is supposed to be and codified to be originally. They're not the same thing. See? I love America so much, I'm willing to rebuke and not obey man's codes that overthrow the law of the land of America. You see how that works? Because that's ultimately what it is. The statute, policy, and code and legal system are overthrowing the law society, the society of law and order of America, the law of this land, and God's people. And it's all through contract and consent, directly or indirectly. So we're bonding then, because we both then love America. The only difference is your love is a love where you never actually have to do and be or create anything. So I contend you don't actually love America. You actually, the second statement you said is actually more true than you know. You fucking hate it. You hate yourself. You hate this land. You hate God and its people because you're not becoming one and living that information. If you did love it and were of that, you would be of that and live of that. You're not. So by virtue of that, antithetically, the logic indicates you don't actually love America because you're not doing and being anything to uphold the law or the rights of the people or yourself or this land and the future. See, that's me, at least at some times, some places, right? That's the difference. You're just online saying shit and feeling shit. Just like a lot of folks who say, I love my child. I love my wife. And when you look at them and who and what they are and how they live, it becomes overwhelmingly clear they not only don't truly love and care about their wife, themselves, and their children, they fucking hate them because they lie, cheat, steal, abuse, deflect, obfuscate, live from cowardice and division and deflection and disregard. That's the antithesis of true love and care, at least what it looks like in action space. So you folks are just talking from something you feel. And on paper and in the world and in actuality, it's the exact fucking opposite. Okay? I think we're good there. I think we can leave it there. That's good enough for one day. I'm already an hour over. How many times in a slightly varied way can you pretty much say the same thing over and over and over again? That even folks who claim to be doing what's true and what's right don't understand objectively right from wrong and don't have logic or ethics or morals So they can't really determine that conclusively. Just comes down to appeal to emotion and false authority, the cornerstone of slavery and genocide known as cognitive dissonance. He loves America, but if you ask him how we would know that in actuality with what he does or what he's being, there's absolutely no evidence of that except evidence to the contrary.
Well,
Final
I
thoughts?
I hate to say you're a naysayer again there, Paul, but Fab Daddy, the words of wisdom from Fab Daddy today, I think I might take those, I might just have to rewind the stream to get all the inspiration I can from Fab Daddy. And I don't know if I had to choose between you and Fab Daddy, who was more inspirational. It's a toss up.
Well, he's down there now. And he's, proud. I can say this. I created more than you. My creation is tangible. Yours is not. That's the rallying cry of the dumbass fool from the beginning of time. Doesn't understand how God works or anything works. That the majority of power and value here comes from what's unseen, not from what's seen and tangible, dummy. That's why the greatest minds and inventors, whatever they created physically, came as an expression of the metaphysical, their thoughts, emotions, actions, and inaction. See what comes first? We are non-being, we use beingness. We are a spirit being, we have a body. The most powerful, valuable elements of this creation are the non-tangible. Yet you just cried out with glory and valor that you've created more physically than I have. Right? But when we go to who and what you are non-physically, your metaphysical beingness, you're a broken, disempowered, confused, chaotic clown. I wouldn't give a fuck what you created and built in the physical realm. It's only going to be destroyed, corrupted, perverted, or co-opted. Because one follows the other. Your non-beingness is not in order, so your beingness is definitely not in order. If it is for a time, it will not be at some point. That's the nature of this reality. You're like the same type of clown who goes, I built skyscrapers and whole banking systems, and look at my physical, tangible creations. Look at all that I've done. And I go, yeah, it's a glass house built on sand. It's unsustainable, and it divides all of us directly or indirectly based on what we won't accept and don't know, which is our true power and value. Great stuff. You literally, every time you guys talk and you scream with valor and glory, you're actually undoing yourselves because you're proving you're exactly the type of person in every spiritual text that is known as the fool and the deviant, the reprobate infidel. Where every place that you draw your power and value is every place you always lose it, but you keep proclaiming it as your highest virtue. You're the same type of dummy who thinks that because you pay tax and vote that you have a say in your governance and your country and the corporation. You don't. You're there to be used and abused and cast out. But you'll proclaim it as your highest virtue and right. I'm also an artist. He's going to keep going. All he's telling me, like they all do, is he needs a daddy and didn't have one. We have a new
stepchild. Just clinging at this point. And then my creation is tangible.
He's asking me now.
Well,
what makes him think that I need to feel any way about anything? That I need to feel something about art? Hold on. Let me check my internal feeling space about what I feel about art. Like, you guys are so bitch made that you presume that a man has to have a feeling attached to every experience or every conceptualization. They don't. In this moment right now, I have nothing to feel about art. I'm completely neutral about it and objective. Like throw some art at me and then maybe I'll try to conjure a feeling about it. Like, draw a big dick on the side of a subway and then I'll look at it and go, what's my feeling on this? Art is a consequence of conscious and awareness and our incarnational beingness. It's a form of expression. What do I need to feel anyway objectively about a concept of art? With understanding comes the non-necessity for feeling. Like understanding is superior to feeling. Usually feeling comes with lack of understanding. Like, I understand life and death. I understand purpose and meaning and principle and value. I understand conscious and awareness. That makes it such that I don't need to feel any way about art because I understand it. the consequence of our beingness. In a world where oftentimes we're misunderstood or miscommunicate, art is a modality of self-expression. It's also a way to limit your liability to not get slaved for a concept that won't be accepted by a majority of order followers. There's my feelings on it. Feelings are human. You should have them. Did I ever claim that feelings are? See, they're just. This is what they do. Because now it's this or thatism, right? Like, because I said that, it must mean this. Now he's saying that I'm saying that I never have any feelings. There's no value to feelings, and they're not naturally part of a human experience at times. We've made that jump and leap in.
Yeah, there's a message held for review too, and it says, so Paul likes dicks on subways from Fab Daddy.
There it is. Can't be denied.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's what I got out of it too. I don't know how, I mean, Fab Daddy is just on point today, and I don't know how, like, we're missing the wisdom from Fab Daddy.
So I'm now having like a deja vu moment because I'm pretty sure we had this conversation and did this yesterday. It was literally the exact line for line. So either it happened and it's happening again because we're looping, which can't be avoided. I mean, the simulation is a loop within a loop. Can't be avoided. But I'm now like becoming more and more aware that we're looping within the loop, or I'm having deja vu, which means this is meant to happen.
Yeah, we're definitely looping, and it's definitely looping in a loop in a loop. And I like the dragon icon that you had the one time in the infinity symbol, because I don't know if you have it or you have it programmed in still, or maybe you can play it on a live stream one day. But I saw something, I observed something to it. If you find it one day, let me know so I can come up and tell you what I see.
I don't know what you're rambling on about again. You have this way of doing that. You have this way of every time he's back, he's gone. You have this way of filling any gap where I just stop rambling and ranting with something I can barely even follow. Like, I don't know what you just said. I don't know what you're pointing me toward, what the significance is. Why do I care? Could you tell me why I care?
You're talking about looping, and then you had the dragon, the infinite
Can you stop
loop
segueing?
dragon.
You're a horrible seguer.
Okay, well,
You've
here,
done
how
it a
about
few
this
times. It's probably good. You have the worst segues ever.
we can book that. Listen, if I can be the best at being the worst seguer ever, I'll take that as a win. You know,
That's your new position.
I mean,
hey, I need that filled anyway,
my
right?
new
Like
position.
that's part of the whack pack.
Yeah.
I got a guy who's like who segues constantly, who can't make connections. So the segue just never translates. It just gets lost on everyone.
It does. And then every time we try to segue out, and I'm like, listen, all right, I'm out of here.
Can you please encourage your tards, your chain slaves? Because I can't kick them out. He's got the little chain symbol on his name. You can't see it, but on my side, I can. This fat person. Could you get him up here or get him out? He's on your side. I can't get to him. You know, he's just scrolling my chat like obsessed.
Fab Daddy says, I appreciate BSPT. So now I got to think about getting rid of Fab Daddy.
Right, because you're so easily manipulated that he already identified, like you all do, these games you play with each other. He goes, oh, I know what to do right now. I'll compliment BSPT to avoid being thrown out, which basically he's saying indirectly, you're so weak and or stupid that he knows he can manipulate you away from doing what's obvious by just playing to your weak, insecure ego.
Yeah.
Right? So like if you want to accept that, you know, I don't do that. I do the opposite. I never compliment you. I never say, hey, you're so great. You're amazing. And then try to manipulate you. I just tell you what I want or don't want. And then you do it or not.
Yeah. And
see, he's even admitting it. I have him all figured out.
Well, in certain ways you do. Like certain ways it's
and now he's running. You didn't even have to throw him out. The wicked flee when none pursue. He's running because he knows I'm right.
Well, do you want me to take out Fab Daddy? I was right in the middle.
No, you can leave him now. He's running. I'd rather watch him run in his cowardice and knowing that I'm right again. Don't take him out now. I want to see him running. I want to see ass and elbows.
There you go. See why I didn't pull the trigger on that one? I saved that one for for a later
Right.
time.
And then he types L8 number 8 and R later. And then another message. Peace and pot leaves. Or like I say, be kind. This is a victim. This is all this is. This is a duped out, gullible, naive, childlike victim. That's all it is. After all that, scrolling the chat, 18,000 messages, criticisms of me, cycling in his confusion, chaotic nonsense. It's peace and pot leaves. Be kind. And they wonder why I just don't want him around me. It's just we're gonna leave with some false positivity. You know, we're gonna do false hate, false love, just all day, every day. Be kind.
Yeah.
Who cares if you're a dumbass with no values and principles? Just be false kind on your way out. After you show your complete intransigence and insanity and nonsense. As long as you're kind, you get like a gold star.
Yeah, I would say I'm all for the pot leaves. I'm definitely not for the insincere, like or say be kind, whatever it says, or like I say.
This is no child left behind. This is what this system has now produced. A whole bunch of grown folks who basically have the standards of retarded children. Doesn't matter what words mean. Doesn't matter what we're doing to control ourselves or create something. Doesn't matter if we're making any sense. Just be nice. Play with your little ball. And go back to whatever it is you're doing. This is where we're at. Don't even expect competence, capability, understanding, wisdom, honorability, presentment, truth. None of it. Just fucking drum up some kindness, right? They wonder why everything is failing.
They wonder why. They definitely wonder why.
These are very kind people, right? There's the final gaslight. Just be kind to everyone. He hasn't been kind the whole time, right? He's not at all. Has he been kind? But that's the most important thing on the way out. Just be kind, because we're pretty sure that's the one thing we can convince people you're not. Paulie's not a kind person. Okay. You were totally the kind person here. I wasn't. You're on your way out. Just be kind. Peace and pot leaves. Gaslight 101. Play some finesse 2 times. No, I'm out of here. I'm leaving. They're going to copyright me for that. Are they going to copyright me for that? It's too ghetto anyway. People will get upset. Say Paulie Boy's white. He's not supposed to play black people music that talks about pimping and, you know, certain realities. Too much energy there. It's not fit. It's not appropriate. Family broadcast. Are they gonna copyright me for this?
If you want just a terrible segue, I could segue right out of the whole copyright conversation, and we could head into a different. I don't know what direction I was going to take us in, because, like I said, it's a horrible segue.
No, this man has energy. I don't care if he's a pure devil. I'm like Talcott. Josh, please.
Josh, please. All right.
They slip on me like a pillow 5 years straight. Now I'm in a Tempur-Pedic. How the fuck is you a hater and a fan? Nigga, you really won't beat me. Yo, pulled up in a new triple black Benz. They thought I was BD. No,
thank you for having me up. I love you, man. Have a good one.
All right, bye.
Your city with 5 them on the front line. They want me behind them.
I hate white
I was
people.
reaching out, asking them niggas for help. Now they want me to sign them. Bunch of bridge tables turned. They fucked me over. Listen, learn. Got tired of hearing. Wait your turn. Bought a chopper when it took it. Finesse jeans, your hoodie.
That's what I listen to before I walk into court like this.
No, I don't, sir. I have rights and you have duties and obligations, sir, and you will uphold your duties and obligations today, sir. Okay, so would you like to tell me what your belief is about what I have to do? Would you like to tell me about what you...
Ever since I got home, they quiet now. Fuck niggas believing they lies now. Niggas reaching out, they want to ride now. 50K for the cups this time now. They act like they don't see me, they blind now. They act like they don't hear me, they deaf. The difference between us, I pull up by myself. See, you need a crowd of niggas. I'm Aryan Nation, stay round from niggas, stay ready to down a nigga. I'm running my city, they crown the nigga, better not make a sound a nigga. I jump off the stage and found a nigga. I'm smoking fatality. Go got the hiccups. Loose the stick up. Oh, you live by the gun, you die by it. I'm on fair paper with a Glock 9, little Louisiana like Popeye,
Right. That's why I like black people, specifically those type of black people, because they don't give a fuck. He's going to do whatever the fuck he wants to do. You can make the judgment, good, bad, or indifferent, but he's not going to be a cowardly, punk-ass, domesticated, civilized slave like the rest of the majority of the suburbanites and the white bread, well-to-do white folks who occupy this political science body politic, right? So again, we can all be less than savory at times. We can all fall short of the Most High. We don't always do the right thing. But again, I prefer the spirit and the soul of a being who chooses their own path in life and deals with the sacrifice and consequence and moves forward and becomes better and does better and, is able to be integral versus the lukewarm, fence-riding, wishy-washy, politically correct white bread slave. So really, that's just, I guess, kind of a preference. You have to choose. All right. I think I'm done. The man said he wanted some finesse 2 times. You live by the game, you die by it, right? That's the code of honor. And then you got to decide what the game is. Game of life, slavery and genocide, doing what's true and what's right, spiritual faith. You live by it, you die by it. That's the story of the Christ being, is it not? There's inspiration there. That's what I listen to before I deal with the infidels. Gets me fired up. Reminds me of my purpose and value and meaning. My ability to choose. I'm out of here, people. Do the thing. Do the fucking like, subscribe thing. Do the share thing. All right. We'll be back tomorrow. You got anything, Jennifer, for these people on the way out of here? We're on TV now. I put the TV box up. I got a new box. It looks like we're on old time TV. Nothing? All right. Nothing. All right, people, get the hell out of here. I'm done looking at you. I'm over almost an hour and a half over. That's a testament to my unwavering service and dedication to this platform and the people who occupy it. So thank me later. You should feel really honored and thankful and grateful and blessed. I am, of course, the Honorable Judge Unslaved. Signing off. I'll be back tomorrow, somewhere between 12 and 3 MDT. Say goodnight to the bad guy. God of all media. Out.
Me, I always tell it, even when I lie. So say good night to the bad guy. Go on. The last time you're gonna see a black guy like this again.
The Great Reset's happening. So when you get all your pretty and nice shit taken away and your bullshit job that leads to nowhere, and you're forced back on the land and have to be self-sustainable and co-creative and work with what is, this talk about your feelings and your ego is going to go right out the window, because the God and the elements and nature are going to present what needs to happen next. 9 out of 10 times. That's the difference between me and you. I got it in me, not on me, just like you do. I'm trying to work it out, bring the subconscious to the conscious and figure out who and what I am. Am I good or evil? Am I real and true? Am I a narcissistic, egotistical deceiver? That's the difference. I'm actually authentically trying to work it out while you lie to everyone and project your negative aspects of self onto me, and I don't appreciate it. And the universe don't appreciate it either. And the students of life in this audience don't appreciate it either. This isn't about love and money. This isn't about chasing bags or anything else in and of the world. This is about the Philo-Sophie, right? The love of knowledge, the love of wisdom, the love of understanding of self and applying it to actualize and realize and get better results for yourself and everyone else. I thought that's what we were doing here. So let's get the game back in its proper perspective. The motherfucker doing this shit shouldn't have to talk about it because you folks want to lie on it.
God
it's embarrassing to me. I didn't come on here with the intention or the understanding that this is supposed to be for business or a hobby. That's why I show up the way I do 500 days straight. That's why I have a care in my heart with passion. That's why I do what's true and what's right and see through you motherfuckers and get amazing results for me. We can't allow the generalized experience of life and everything it has to offer, good, bad, and indifferent, to hold us back or keep us paralyzed or keep us fearful or self-doubting or unloving and uncaring of ourselves. How do I know? Because they're looking to me. That's all this is. I can see further than the rest. I can interpret beyond what's told and shown, and I can amalgamate and communicate the cause and effect and the root of the state of consciousness and awareness. That is a astounding testimony to the work that I've done on myself in this world and in this life, and the practices I've walked with other people. The question and answer, the fellowship, the co-creational endeavors, and the conversation that leads to understanding. But again, we can't appeal to false emotions and false authority. That is the cornerstone of cognitive dissonance. You can't say that I'm respectable, righteous, honorable, presentable, and then I have balls, and then turn around and hate me or catch feelings over me, be in that and live in that when you don't like it, or when it doesn't turn out as favorably for you as you would have hoped or expected, right? That's the theme of a true common bond that goes long term versus the shallow, materialistic, worldly connections that come and go. Just, it is what it is. Some people are down forever. Some people are down for the ride until they got to get off, right? And some people ain't down at all. So through the life experiences, firsthand experiences, through the tests and challenges, you learn more and more who and what is meant for you, and who or what is probably not going to be able to sustain the ride. And that's okay.
God of all media,